everyone. Welcome to MinusOneCHarisma, Dungeons and Dragons stream. My name is Jaymes, and here are the beautiful people who make up MinusOneCHarisma. That was a beautiful face. Show me that face again. Oh yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What a charmer.
Oh.
Thank you, everyone, for being here on this beautiful Monday night. It's always a beautiful Monday night. I'm a little biased, but I've really grown to like Mondays.
Why?
Mostly because of Jason.
That makes sense.
Whales.
Understandable.
I don't know if you saw this, but in our Discord, I found a clip of Jason searching for whales.
So,
way off.
Isn't he always?
I might have clicked off his explanation, but you know.
I realize, yeah, because whales, I mean, it didn't literally mean whales, right? You guys got that. I didn't literally mean whale. I meant like people like who have fat wallets, right? People with lots of money, whales.
Yeah, eventually find a whale.
Like,
we did find one.
Yeah, I took it to
I
mean
didn't grow up
actual
in like
whales.
a 1930s Las Vegas gang, so no, I didn't know that's what you meant.
I think it's just halfling, right? It's halfling. It's the way we talk.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's a good enough cover as any.
Yeah, we can't argue about that one. Yeah.
You also don't need to be embarrassed if you really wanted to find whales. Like, I support that journey for you.
We could have gone on a whole side quest of just finding literal whales. I would have been fine with that.
Let's go now.
Yeah,
It wouldn't
I
have
may
been-
lament that in my check-in.
It still would have been fun.
All right. Well, it's been a while since we've all been together. And we got a lot to cover. So, in the spirit of that, we have Jason with a check-in. Give me a second for the music. And
Go to the check-in.
Jason, take it away.
Take it away.
Okay, now we're good. I see the look of. That's why I should pre-record them. I see the look of disgust in Dresden's eye as he lifts me up and hurls me toward the gambling table. His face looks like he just ate like a big bite of moldy cheese. It's the look of sheer disappointment.
That's his face.
And as I fly through the air, I remember the series of bad decisions that led us up to this point. I think about the dumpling monger and his bizarre fish dumplings and the increasingly unsettling foodstuffs he kept making us try. And I think about his admission that we could be risking our lives fishing rather than enabling Steve's gambling habit, but I think about Bertram. The man Rezek charmed so we could steal his cheating contraption, ensuring that we could change the outcome of any dice game as needed, so long as we use the right dice. I think about the old woman Abigail that we had swindled out of a hefty sum of money just earlier to be able to continue gambling throughout the night. And now I see the face of this high roller, this man with a lot of money that we're sitting, the whale that we're sitting across from. This man who ostensibly just won 3,200 crests from us, 3,200 crests that we don't have. And I look over at Steve, who I presumed had this whole situation handled somehow, and I realize maybe Steve is more lucky than skillful. His face still exuding a confidence in light of what is surely a losing situation at this point. How could he not realize that we couldn't sneakily change the dice outcome when someone brings their own dice? Why were we taking on bets that we didn't have the crest to pay for? Maybe I should have gone fishing. Is it worse to potentially be drowned and eaten by a fish? Or to be thrown in jail for stealing or possibly murder, and suffer in a windowless tower until we likely starve to death? But as that thought passes, I feel the warm air hit my face. I hear the chatter and the clanging of dice all around and smell a menagerie of foodstuffs, and right before I slam into the table with full force, I'm shocked back to reality. This is Dresden's plan to get us out of this mess. It's a distraction. So I take the hit, careful to obscure and jostle the table as much as possible before I yell at Dresden, now my enemy, and charge him with swinging fists. Our tussle takes us into the crowd, and without a word, we part ways to disappear into the hustle and bustle of Hojo. As I flee, I catch a quick glimpse of Steve running with what looks like a sack of the High Roller's money, and thank the stars that he had his wits about him enough to steal it and run away. I hope Cornelia, Maeve, and Pup are having a better go at it than we are.
Hey.
Hey, see.
Thank you for that. And that is
Well
where
done, S.
we literally find ourselves
Thoughts with Killers.
overflowing with crests. Steve, you heft a giant purse over your shoulder. Just over 1,000 crests. The cost of an audience with the Empress. You stand among the many tables around the giant casino floor. And the night is yours. What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna
Specifically,
bask.
Rezik, Kelwise, Dresden, and Steve. What are you four doing?
I mean, I was just getting the hell out of Dodge, right? Like we were all splitting up.
Okay.
Yeah, just
So are
trying
you
to
guys
find a
gonna
safe
try
place
and
to meet up.
Meet up?
Yeah.
Okay.
At the
So you guys are trying to,
predetermined place that we talked about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right
you
there.
guys try and remember if there
There.
was one back and forth.
There was.
Meanwhile, Cornelia, Pup,
The tallest tree in the
Maeve.
forest.
The three of you were outside scoping out this giant, massive Hojo. Just this building with other buildings that seem to have just been smashed on top of it over and over again. And Pup, you had your friend, the owl, and you had been able to kind of get like a little aerial view of this place. And one of the things you notice, the many hundreds of windows, some lit, some not, you look inside and the interior of a lot of these rooms, they strike you as interesting. Some of them seemingly outdoors. Some of them really not interiors at all. Even one, a large, cavernous, what looks like theater. Just inside these little pocket rooms that don't seem like they have enough space to create these giant spaces, but that's one of the things you notice as you fly all around, and when you really fly up high, you notice that there's this huge thick fog all around the outside of this massive area with all these trees and such, and the fog gets so thick at the edges, it almost seems to just fall off the edge of the world. Cornelia and Maeve, you guys do a scope around the outside, and you guys notice there's a lot of guild members. The guild being Mark's squad that he had come here to kill the Guardian with. He had been hunting it, and you had been in a little tuffle with Mark's. Human with lots and lots of scars, a few white hairs at the sides of his temples. He's clearly seen a lot of combat. And he had pulled that strange double-barreled ballista seemingly out of nowhere in the forest that had blasted the side of the mountain you guys were standing on before you fell into that cave. And you just noticed there's a exceedingly large amount of the guild kind of walking around, almost patrolling. Very casual, not like on guard, but moving around, keeping their eyes out.
Are we
Oh,
searching for a place to enter right now, or are we just scoping out the whole town?
That's
Or what?
that was you guys had stayed outside to just scope out what the outside of Hojo was like as the four of the boys went inside. And so that's kind of what you guys picked up as you scooted around.
Men, the 4 men.
Yeah,
Quick
four
question.
boys, that's what I said.
Boys to men.
How did we get out of the cave?
You had found you had taken your ice block and moved on
Right.
from the large platform, and you found this giant hole, this waterfall pit, and you had gone off the edge intending for Rezik to slow everyone's fall, but instead of falling down, you all fell up and then found yourselves right outside that cave entrance. And then when you looked again, that cave entrance seemed not to be there at all anymore.
Fascinating. All right, cool. And now we're
But you
just
do have-
outside observing.
You had a little friend that was following you around.
You still with us?
Doing
hi, Mark.
stereo.
Mark.
Cute. All right. Cool. Thanks. Sorry.
Oh, and we've had a long rest, by the way, Maeve. Just so you know.
Okay. Thanks. Okay. That is all I had to say.
That is good for me
now.
to know.
Cornelia, what are you up to?
Looking around Hojo.
Okay. All right.
I just want to kind of see where, there's maybe a concentrated amount of like people coming in and out, or like try to find out where we have to take these crests and what that looks like, on the outside. Just kind of maybe scope that place out, or.
Well, the only thing really on the outside is that massive gate, and there's that little collection box that you would each put a crest in to enter the city. And there's a few, you guys see that maybe 4 or 5 guild members just kind of hanging out near the entrance. Very nonchalant, but clearly every once in a while looking up to just check out who's in line.
And there are people in line. Oh, so it's okay. I see. But everyone's just paying one crest to get into the gates,
It's
though,
one
not
crest
at
to
the
get into
1,000.
gate.
Yeah.
No, the 1,000 was just an audience with the Empress.
Yeah, so we don't really know where we take that yet, I assume. Like who collects the 1,000 crests?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And they had found, the boys had found, and you guys would eventually find this out, but they had found a large decorated entryway to what looked like a grand castle of some sort on the show floor, but it was heavily guarded behind many of those priests and a big portcullis.
Oh. All right. Cool. Yeah, I'm just doing that and maybe just playing with my crabs.
Okay.
I just want to keep a sharp eye out to make sure no one recognizes us as the people they were trying to murder.
Okay. Are you guys doing anything to disguise yourselves?
I imagine I am very dirty from being in a cave. And getting hit with so many rocks like I did.
And maybe
You're
look
definitely dirty,
different.
but your armor
already.
is still perfectly intact.
Yeah. Does
You have
any
that big
okay?
adamantine armor set that's kind of
I
impenetrable.
know. I'll look at the other two and ask, does anybody have an extra cloak?
I have a dress.
Oh,
Hold up the dress from the racist innkeeper.
does it look like it would fit me?
I mean, it's
Just
the shoulders might be a tight fit, but it'll probably fit.
Is there a thing you can do? Like, if I took off my armor, I'm assuming it wouldn't fit in my pack. Like, do people, like,
could
throw their
probably fit
armor
your
over their
armor.
shoulder? Or, like, what do you do with your armor?
You might be able to wrap it up, like you can bundle it.
Okay. I'll bundle it in my pack, and I'll put the dress on.
Okay, yeah, the dress is too long, and it's just too small on the shoulders, because this innkeeper was much more trim than you are. Hasn't lifted as many rocks. In her
Maeve
time.
just invented the mini dress.
Yeah.
It's too long. He said it's too
Yeah.
long.
Yeah,
Oh, I thought he
That's
said it
like-
was too short. I take it
it's
back.
too
Maeve
too
invented
thin
nothing.
on the shoulders. So you
The
kind of have to
train.
just hold it up
Train.
as you
Yes,
walk.
that is a train.
Which, roll me a performance check, Maeve, with advantage.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to fix that for you?
Yes, please.
So you can still read. Curious before I fix it. I want to see you do something dumb.
Okay. Performance check with advantage. What is my performance? 18.
18. So, as far as trying to go under the radar goes, the fact that the dress is very ill-fitting, and the fact that you haven't dressed in formal wear like this very often. Most of what you, well, more so than
Formal
where
dress.
you're from. Most of your clothes are made for function over fashion.
Yes.
So the fact that all those factors are playing together, you don't seem like the same person at all as you kind of stumble a little bit and you move and you're holding it up. It gives you a very, very different demeanor than the Maeve we've seen.
Great. Love that for us all.
You want me to just like cut that shorter for you?
Yes, and if I grip it with my shoulders, could you make it have more room?
Oh, yeah, I could just take the sleeves off.
Oh, that would be great.
Just give it back real quick. Give it back real quick.
I
I'll
don't
get, like-
know if I can.
Okay.
I do like a pull it off.
I'm definitely making it hard for them to pull it off.
Okay, yeah, there's it's just
I like put my foot up on a rock and just go.
yeah, and it takes you too longer than it should.
Good.
One of those things where you just start pulling, even if it rips. It's like I don't even care anymore.
Yeah.
The
I
dress
have a
comes
sewing
up.
kit. It's fine.
And
Yeah, I'm
then
just gonna
let
cut
go
the
at the
sleeves off
perfect timing.
and then make it shorter. Oh my god. I love that.
You're like, what is this hooked on? I can't see.
Really?
Yeah, and it comes up.
Cool.
All
So
right.
now sleeveless.
And you,
Shorter.
roll me a dexterity check.
I just hope this turns out better than Cornelia's eyebrow.
17 plus 3. Dirty 20. Pup makes your
Maeve,
own clothes.
Pup makes these alterations and masterful. Very impressive. Maybe not something you foresaw in Pup's arsenal, but proficiency beyond what's expected. And Cornelia, are you doing anything?
Wait. With the extra fabric, can I make like a cute little like head bow? Like Kiki's delivery
Sure.
service style?
Yes!
Like the big bow.
Yeah, absolutely. You make like a, and the material itself is like a beige gray. Nothing too bright, but the bow itself looks nice. You do a fantastic job using that extra material to make an accessory.
How do I look?
You look beautiful.
Thank you. You've done a wonderful job. I did not know you had such skills.
Oh. Yeah. I've only ever made my own clothes before. So, well, actually until someone made this, but then I made it look cool.
Very impressive. Thank you.
Cornelia, are you doing anything to
So I do look different because I grew. I'm gonna change my cloak, for sure. Maybe change my eye patch.
Okay. And you have
Um,
that big beard coming out now, right?
I hope not.
No, you have.
So
Yeah, yeah.
now
all
I
your
have
hair
a
back
lot of
now.
hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that'll hopefully help.
Let's talk about this hair. Is it like straight hair? Is it a little curly, a little disheveled? Manageable, unmanageable, frizzy?
It's like the Little Mermaid hair. You know, it's got a nice body, kind of waves, but not curly.
Does it naturally Little Mermaid, or is it something you work on? Is it something that something you spend some time on?
That's a good question. I think she like puts her hands through her hair and stuff, but it's pretty disheveled, you know?
Okay.
I think she brushes it, but not throughout the day, you know?
Okay. Yeah, so you guys see the pink hair back on Cornelia. Now that you're out of the cave, you can kind of see it through the moonlight much more astutely. And Pup,
I turn into the racist innkeeper.
you also have a tiny tiefling on your back, right?
Ah!
Yes, I do.
So,
Did
what, are you
Dresden
going to
give
do
it to me?
anything to... I believe you... Yeah, I think you have trust on your back, like a backpack.
When did
Yeah, I think
Dresden take
we did
her
a handoff.
out? Oh, okay.
Oh, yes, I do.
Yes. And you also have that crystal egg, right? That crystalline egg?
I do not.
I thought
Unless it was
Kelwise
given to
gave it
me.
you. I believe
Then
Kelwise gave it to you.
I passed it over to Pup. I
Yeah,
have the
well,
egg.
I thought
No.
that I would have given it
Rezik
back after
passed
we
it
got
over
out. It was just for
They gave it
the-
back to me? Okay, then I have it then. They gave it back to me.
I would imagine I was just gonna hold it for you while we jumped because the eagle was safer. Then I would have given you back your baby.
Eagle.
Okay, well,
Yeah, makes sense. Cool.
well, Pup, when you touch this egg and you started to hand it back to Rezik, you can feel something inside it almost spin. And Rezik, when you have it, it just kind of goes back to a very a dull state. Very submissive.
Yeah, and I usually have it in my robes, and I have my scarf tucked in, so it's kind of nice and warm. Just keeping it comfy.
And
Is
Pup,
the whale the thing that flies, that turns into a flying thing, or it's the egg?
the whale?
I have a.
The whale itself seems to almost be swimming through the air, as if the air were made of some kind of water. Moves still according to, as you would expect, like a dolphin to move through the ocean. Pup has a figurine of a serpentine owl that turns into a giant owl on command once every 3 days, I believe. And that is what Pup is using to kind of fly around this massive building that has an entire town encompassing inside.
And am I on top of this owl right now, flying around?
Yeah, you had been just doing your scouting.
I specifically would have wanted to see where the main ladies, the Highness's, where she lived was, and if I could see any connecting buildings or escapes from where she is specifically.
Okay. Yeah, you fly up and way on the top of Hojo, the very, very, very top, you see this crystalline, almost see-through wavy material, almost like a barrier that lets this beautiful light in. And through this kind of blurry barrier, you can see a massive green courtyard with what looks like a stone and wooden, not necessarily a castle in the same way. It's a series of buildings, maybe 3 stories high, with a large wall around it, a thick wooden wall with a stone base at the bottom.
I relay this all to Rezik as I'm up there.
Hey! By the way, I'm on top of Hojo right now, and this is what I'm seeing.
And I tell the other men about this. The other men, not boys, men.
Oh yeah, no, none of you hear it. Okay, so Pup, you see that, and you meet up with Maeve and Cornelia. Pup, how are you going to conceal trust?
Oh, I do have to conceal her, huh? What else do I have? I still have my old clothes with me.
Mm-hmm.
My original outfit, because I'm in my. I would still have my my poncho.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you still have your poncho.
So what I'll do is I will turn into the racist innkeeper, and I'll put her in front of me like a pregnant belly.
Okay. Fantastic.
What does she sound like?
She sounded like this a little
I think I'm sound like this then.
What are you, a sex cult or something? So long ago. That was over a year ago.
Aww.
Our origin story. That racist innkeeper.
Your origin story.
Sex cult
okay,
origin
yeah,
story.
yeah.
Oh
And,
no.
you get this pregnant belly, and it's a little bit odd because it's like, is she a little old for that belly? But you know, different strokes, right? We don't know if they're a human. We don't know if they're half elf. Don't ask, don't tell. On this one. Okay. Are you guys heading into Hojo?
Did we
yeah, I mean,
agree
there's-
to meet them here or in there somewhere?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure we had.
that,
Did we not have a
that's
designated
predetermined.
spot?
It's in Hojo.
Yes. And you guys
Well,
know that
sure.
there's the pre-designated spot clear in your mind.
Not the location that we had decided upon. Agreed.
Should we just say it's the Bee, the tavern?
It's
That's
the,
called. This is called the Bee.
Well, there was a specific oat wheat noodle bar. That
Oh, wait, noodle bar.
Yeah. That
We know the one.
Pup had noticed. So
Okay.
yeah, it was the Nemarivoli noodle bowl.
It's easy to remember.
Yeah.
Easy to say.
Well, then I guess we should go to the spot and not make any sort of commotion to get us noticed.
Yeah, just go in here real quiet. No hoo-ha.
Mm-hmm. Yes, no hoo-ha.
What's hoo-ha?
It's when you make a loud ruckus. It's like what I do all the time. It's like what we do together. We just create big hoo-has everywhere.
We can't do that.
Mm-mm.
No hoo-has.
No hoo-has.
All right.
I heard someone say that once. Is that what you guys told me? Don't create a big hoo-ha.
Yes, it
Like
sounds
this
right
one.
to me. I don't know.
All right, let's do it. No hoo-has.
All right. You three walk.
pretend
up,
to be pregnant.
and it takes maybe 15 minutes in line, and you guys are up next. Everyone just putting one coin in. Are you all putting a coin in? You guys have enough
Yeah.
crests?
I have
I haven't spent any.
I have some, yeah. So I'll give.
Yeah, they should
some
all
to
have
them.
about like 4 or 5. So
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you
And then
guys
we
walk
got
through-
thrown that bag of crests to the guild master through Pup and I, a bag of
Okay.
crests, however many that was.
And Pup, you put a crest in, and you start to walk through, and one of the guild members, this very tall, broad man with a big X scar under his chin, walks up. Boy, I think you're underpaid. Them's two of yous. It's two.
That's not fair. One of them's inside of me. It's still part of me. It's not out yet.
Oh, doesn't matter. Two crests.
Can I lean over to Pop and say no hoo-has?
Cornelia's got me.
Oh, what?
Cornelia.
There,
It's an
she
interesting
paid
name.
it.
Cornelia.
It's a family name.
Oh yeah.
All
What,
of
you never heard the name before?
family
I know
names.
literally like 10 of them.
There's a lot of them around here.
It's like, remember that year when like all the boys were named Jason and all the girls were named Brittany? It's like that.
I literally watched Hercules yesterday.
Tell me your most lugubriousness.
He kind of looks at you, Cornelia. You
We
put one in.
are worms.
He looks at you, and he kind of looks like this crazy old pregnant lady is loud and obnoxious to the point where he's kind of like, all right, well, move along.
Thank you. Do you know a place where I can put my feet up? My ankles are so swollen.
No.
I can tell because you got swollen ankles too.
Continue walking.
Let's move along.
Sore ankles. And he kind of looks to his friend. What's he mean by sore ankles? What does that mean? Is that an insult? And the guy's like, I don't know. I have no idea. Never heard that before. And they just kind of watch you guys walk in, glaring at you. But you guys make it through.
Well,
Without
it
a
wasn't
hoo-ha.
great, but we did it.
Wow.
And you guys meet up at the Nema Rivoli bar. And it's interesting, Steve. You see a man with a cloak on, and he's got it almost looks like this bluish vest sitting at this bar, and he's slurping noodles, and he's got this little metal plate on his forehead on a little band tied around his head, and his head is down. He's just eating.
Seems like
Looks
cool.
good. And
Wow.
Steve, you're the first one to the Nema Rivoli bar.
Look around. I'm gonna spot my friends. And under my breath, I'm just gonna keep whispering to myself as I walk over. The greatest thief of all time. I'm the greatest thief of all time. We'll sit down. Very casual, like not conspicuous at all. I'm doing completely fine. Hi guys. How's everybody doing? How are we doing? How are you? What's up? Hi.
And immediately a man walks up to you at the bar. Are you at the bar?
No. Where are they sitting?
No, you're the first one here. You're the first one to
Oh,
arrive.
this is before them. Okay.
Yeah.
Are there open tables?
It's like a bar with stools.
Open up the bar.
Set up.
I'll sit at the very end, towards the wall of the
Okay.
bar.
Yeah, so you sit down at this bar, and instantly a man holds you a finger, turns around, and pours this steamy, savory broth into this big, large bowl, and then cleans out some long oat wheat noodles and pours them in 2 pieces of this weed of the sea on top. The smell of like joy bean and these little round spiraled little pieces of fish cake on top, and some what look like bam shrew sprouts on top and shoots, and then he just kind of pushes this bowl in front of you with these 2 weird like I don't know what you'd call them, like stick knives. You kind of hold them one in each hand. It's a strange thing you've never really seen before, but it smells good.
We're intimately aware with those. I'm
putting that
positive.
in my jacket.
True, we know what those are.
Yeah.
Putting these stick knives in my.
I'm gonna attempt to use these stick things. I'm gonna get exhausted, and I'm just going to stick my face in the bowl and just start eating.
And you guys
Ravenous.
around, you guys see that there's these long flaps that hang down to like keep this place a little enclosed. These sheets, and a sheet kind of blows a little bit, and you see Steve with his face in this steaming hot bowl of something at this bar, sack over his shoulder.
Well, every gambler dies a gambler's death, I guess. Let's go loot him.
Yeah, we got to get those crests somehow.
Yeah.
That in.
I hear
Sit down,
everything.
man.
I will. Don't you dare!
Oh,
All right. No hoo-has. Calm down.
Did I see how much gold he has on him?
You can see he has a large, like an unhidably large purse of crests.
Like a Santa sack. We're talking like that large.
Wait, did I miss? Is Steve deviating from our plan for his own nefarious purposes?
Yes.
No, it's all
No,
part of
Steve had just you wouldn't know this yet, but Steve had just robbed a man of nearly 900 crests to add
Oh,
to his
he's
own to make
capable.
a post 1000 total purse.
Okay.
and I did it perfectly, and I passed without a trace. No one knew what I did.
Sick.
Except for Dresden,
Of course.
Rezik, and Kelwise.
Yeah,
And
buddy.
the man you robbed.
Let's split that up so that bag is smaller.
They're a little too conspicuous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot, maybe.
Like almost comically conspicuous. I'm sorry. I got really wrapped up in having a giant bag of money. I've never had that before.
You need to stop yelling about the giant bag of money.
Sorry.
Thanks.
Just take as much as you want. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if we can kind of under the table just sort of scoop them
So,
into
yeah.
2 others.
No.
Calm down
Dave.
from high. I'm just trying to calm down.
Yeah, and
Also, you have soup on your face.
Cornelia, Maeve, and a pregnant old woman approach you from near the gate entrance.
Do I look pretty?
You look very pretty.
Thank you.
That's Maeve without her armor.
Weird.
Nice. Hey,
It feels weird.
What the hell is this?
you ruined my inn.
Ah! And I sort of run.
No, she's happy now.
Elias just disappears.
I want to join sex club, we all run away. Leave me on the boat.
Why are you making hoo-ha? Stop making hoo-ha.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
The hell is going on?
It's not me. It's me.
We'll sit down.
Sorry. Yeah, my ankles are so swollen from being pregnant. Can someone get me water?
Can I get a really salty bowl of soup for this pregnant woman, please?
Does that help?
This man
Yeah, it's gonna help. It's gonna help you a lot.
Looks at you and just pours a big bowl of the broth. Pushes it down
Eat that.
the bar.
Next time, if any of us die or like get frozen, just instinctively just curl into a ball, please. This is difficult.
As you're eating that, are you removing trust from your stomach, or you just
No.
Okay.
All right. So what are we up to, friends? We've got money.
Got some fun.
We've got fundage.
Can I get some wheat in this?
I think there's wheat in that
The
already.
man
Broth.
takes your bowl, taps these oat wheat noodles out, and they glisten and they bounce with this beautiful, almost chewy-like fun glare, and they gleam as they fall into the soup beautifully. And he puts all the same toppings with a little
Slow
bit
motion,
of this,
just
what looks
like-
like
No,
This is,
stop right now. Disgusting.
what looks like almost a spicy pickled cabbage on the one side, and all these different toppings, and a half egg that's got this
I just fucking look at him. Are you done?
and puts it in, and he makes a whole show out of this thing, and he slides it slowly over to you, pup.
Is he shirtless?
No.
Don't forget to wipe the spit
It's
off.
probably pretty like, hot back there with all the steam, you know. Just gotta take your shirt off once in a while.
It's glorious.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you say that to the chef?
Yeah. Listen, you committed hard, and now you have spit down your
Method
chest.
acting. Anyway.
Is the plan to use the crest to see her and then do what we wanted to do?
Well, yeah. Basically, walk in.
Yeah, well, let's find a better place to discuss everything before we do a deep
See if
dive.
we can find a back room of like.
Can I finish my food first?
Sure.
You can probably bring it. Or
God,
oh,
I'm good.
okay. Wow,
I'm good.
that was quick.
Let's go. Mhm.
Okay. So you guys heading out?
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
to find a good silent place to discuss this without any prying eyes or ears.
There are. I mean, there's quite a few little areas or corners you guys could kind of post up in. There's quite a bustle in here, so it would be hard for anyone to really eavesdrop. Excuse me. Eavesdrop on you in certain. There's like little corners and nooks that you could kind of move into.
Yeah, I think we were thinking more of like a tavern, right? Guys, or were you trying to hang out here and talk about it?
Just
Or a
as long as
room.
it's safe.
Or...
Yeah,
Just as long as we're off the street.
maybe a place with more than one entry and exit.
alley.
you
Dark
know,
alley.
just in case. Dark alley. Actually, no, dark alleys have proven to be not a good place for us to be, generally speaking. So.
Can we like rent
Usually,
a back
yeah.
room?
Over
maybe,
and over
somewhere?
again have proven to not be good places. Do we still have our rooms? We could go back to our rooms.
You guys
Is
don't
it
have your
safe
rooms
back there?
anymore.
They'd
Oh.
probably be looking for us there since they sort of chased us into the mountains.
So
you
we
know?
we didn't come up with the rest of our plan before this. We don't know what we're doing now.
No.
Well,
We just agreed on a meeting place.
And I think we're working under the assumption that the element of surprise is on our is in our advantage right now, since they still think we're in the mountains. They're chasing us. All those guardsmen went north. We're now here. We're back.
The longer we wait, the more chance we have of getting caught and not accomplishing our goals. So
that's right.
I think we go as soon as possible to eliminate being seen and stopped.
Yeah. The question is, how do we all get in? I mean, I foresee a way where we could get at least one or two of us in, probably, but it's not a good fighting chance.
Yeah.
So it's 1,000 per person, not per group.
Well, that's the question.
Yeah, I don't
Can
know
we
if
be an
verified
entourage?
that.
I mean, they hadn't really said either way. It seems like there was an implication that, like, it was an audience. It could be a group. It didn't say anywhere that it was like one per person. Your understanding would be probably they could let, one group of people have one audience with the Empress.
Great.
Then the only problem I see is making sure they don't recognize us as the people they're looking for and let us through.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure we could secure some sort of costumes, maybe perhaps make us all look the same or similar.
I look very different.
Pilgrims kind of thing.
Rob said I looked pretty, so I know I don't look the same.
Yeah, but
you found pretty other way.
Shockingly different.
I mean, my Michael disguise is foolproof. I don't think I need anything else, right?
Well, I was imagining maybe if we're a group, we're going in as a group. Someone's going to need to be the head of the group, and perhaps we're all just nameless, faceless henchmen in long robes or something. And we can break out of them when we need to at the most opportune moment. I don't know,
like
just something that gets us in.
Becomes so suspicious that we come all the way around, and it's just like mundane. I like it.
Who would you rather let enter? A group of sort of similar looking people with one head, or a disparate group of a bunch of random people with some hair missing and some with new hair? And
I guess we have to find out what's our reason for going to see the Empress. They're probably going to ask that, do we have a goal? Are we trying to help our farm, or figure out that story?
Well, there is that thing that we heard about the Empress hiring mercenaries. We could pose as mercenaries.
They probably don't go to her. She finds them and has someone else hire for her. I don't think we should look threatening in robes. They would not want to let a threatening group in. I like the idea of the facelessness of the robes, but not in a scary way.
No, in a peaceful way.
Yeah, I don't think he was saying blood robes or anything like that.
I don't know. He said robes.
That's true.
And your brain just straight goes to blood robes?
No. I was thinking all black robes and then with no face, and it would look ominous.
Yeah, no.
Well, I'm sorry. I have not been with the group that long. I cannot read his mind like you can, clearly.
No, don't worry about that. Yeah, no, less murder robes, more peach-colored, very gentle robes.
Yeah.
I look good in peach. I can work with that.
Maybe if we all get orange robes, perhaps.
Ooh, I look really good in orange. Yeah.
Yeah, do you? Yeah.
Okay, but we still need a story.
All right.
That's
perhaps just an idea. Maybe we're something. Oh, that's
just eat it. Eat up, Rezek. Your stomach.
Roll their dice.
Your stomach is rumbling.
In the background, people go Yahtzee.
Maybe we could have one person pretend to be, a little bit wealthy. That's why they have 1,000, crests to spend, and we're just their entourage. And they're just going in there to be like, I'm trying to set up shop here. I want to buy a house or start a business, and I wanted to get your approval on this and have your, A-OK on it. I don't know. It's just an idea.
Well, it can't be Dresden, and it can't be anyone who is imprisoned, right? Or did you guys, other than Dresden, who else has met the Empress other than Dresden?
No one.
Okay, so it can't be you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I went with you.
No, Dresden was
No.
by himself.
No, trust
with
us
the
with me.
Empress.
You're bet.
Oh, that's right. That's right. But didn't I go the second time when you went back?
He
But
only
you
met
never
her
Yeah,
met
but
once.
you were like the Chad
It's just
guy
one time.
or whatever
Yeah.
that bro character is.
Yeah, I was Brad Chadley.
Brad Chadley, that's right.
Now,
So Brad can't come.
Maybe someone Empress
Well,
has.
why don't we have
like,
Puff
the
pretend to
least-
be someone really fancy
Yeah.
instead this time?
So I feel
What
like
can I just warg into my just voluminous empty brain case and see what the guys that occupy my head think they might know about the Empress, what she might want, right? Like what do they know anything about just like what people actually ask the Empress for, or is that something we should just like ask around?
Okay. Yeah, you go into your mind palace, we'll call it. And
My mind shack.
and you release the seals on Luthen and the Guardian, and they slowly float down to you. Oh, hello, Dresden.
Hey. Question, boys.
Yes?
So we're trying to set up a meeting with the Empress. What do you know? Obviously, like what her wants are, but do you know anything about what does she do as Empress that people would need an audience with her?
Oh, well, I suppose making deals to enter and exit Hojo, or if they want to do special things like set up the rooms. As you see, the spaces are, well, we'll say subdimension, as they say. Yeah, it's very exciting. The Empress is a master with things like that, expanding spaces. She's really quite the whiz at that. And
Okay.
the Guardian walks up. Well, yeah, in all kinds of things. The Empress is known to grant favors as well. She has magics well beyond that of normal mortal. Even the elves revered her, and her ability to manipulate the souls of the living. Here she is all-powerful, considering the sources she has to pull on all around.
Okay.
But as you
Alright.
know, she intoxicates her mind.
Right.
Her and Einbach have slid into a dark place.
Yep.
I fear
Okay.
that some may have overreached. She may be
What do you mean?
not in control as much as we like to think she is, or assume she is. Be aware. I'm not
Okay.
sure she's fit to rule in this state. If that makes
I mean,
sense.
have you seen this place? Yeah. No, she's fucking nuts.
Just be aware. She's very
Yeah, no, I'm aware. I'm like well aware. If I could avoid meeting her again ever, that would be like #1 priority. So it's not really possible. All right.
She was very
That-
lovely once. I admit. She had our heart. But it was not.
Yeah.
So also be aware of that. You're walking in with baggage.
Yeah. No. I told you I met her. She like. Ugh. All right. Thank you. I don't know how to just like end this without feeling like
You kind of blink in your back. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like using my like scarf to like kind of like
You're
hang up
roll
the
off
phone.
his
Yeah.
I relay that. So, yeah, we could go in and and say that we need some sort of favor, that we want to set up some sort of gambling thing. We could play into her sort of madness. We could, I don't know. I'm open to ideas.
Playing into madness is always a good one. Maybe we can offer up something that she might want. Perhaps even our group as a little bit of bait.
Well,
a little bit of bait
but
and
I
switch,
think
perhaps.
that might. I don't think we want them prepared for something bad to happen.
Yeah, but you don't want to be like, and we can offer you up the group of people that have been hiding. Oh, where are they? We're here. And we shut off our robes and no? Is that bad?
Yeah, we
I just
only
don't
need
think
the.
that's gonna actually play because they'd want to know beforehand, would we? Right?
Yeah.
I don't think
we
we'd be
should
doing
just
that in front of
ask-
her.
Maybe we should ask to see coming in and out of this realm or Hojo, because we kind of want to find out that information anyways. I mean, we assume the portal's in there, but maybe bring that up and we can get that information before we meet her and then surprise attack.
Well, I think, was it Nima or the other one? Someone already told us that the portal. I think it was Nima. It was Nima. Told us the portal is in the Alishtar, in the like mansion or whatever, in the really fancy area of Capital City. So we already have that information, but we could lie and say we don't know that and ask. Could be a good way to just be like, oh, we were just wondering where the portal is,
So we still need to go talk to her to get access of going in and out of it, though, to get permission. Possibly.
Well, I mean, I think our goal right now is to just not die and to try to take her down, rehabilitate her or whatever, and then after that we'll find a way in or out. I think.
What?
Oh, to gain audience. Sure. Yeah, you could say that.
We need to free trust as well. She's the only one that's going to be able to do it. What do we have to bargain where we could maybe gain her favor, allow her to, I don't know, continue existing perhaps in exchange for freeing trust? I don't know.
I liked your idea of baiting with the intel that we know where the rebels are hiding, which is enough to get her listening, and then we name our terms first.
I think it might be dangerous to associate ourselves with ourselves.
Yeah, I think we're overcomplicated. I think we already have the cash, right? Just use that to get in, and then.
Yeah, we just want to be able to see her and attack her. We're not going to sit there and talk to her, I assume. We're going to break the chain.
Dresden, you had made a deal with the Empress to rid Hojo of the Guardian in exchange.
He's not there.
It's true. I did do that.
That was before.
True, I forgot about that. You did do
that. Was before we were attacked by the guild and portals of giant guns were sent our way. So we think maybe that she's working with them still.
Well, I mean, I think she's just spreading her chips around the table, as they say.
We completed that mission.
I have a question. Oh, sorry. We're private. We're like, right? Am I crazy?
Yeah, you're in private.
Okay, great.
Sweet.
Like, what's the best outcome that we can hope for in this whole thing?
Well, best outcome we can hope for is that trust is revived. We break the whatever madness that's on the Empress, and she doesn't just destroy us all, right?
I feel like
and we
she's not gonna
claim
help
the other part of Elazar.
I feel like she's not going to help us until she's cured of her madness. So should the order be cure and then the Elazar stuff, or vice versa, depending on who's who, and then do the trust stuff?
Yes, exactly. I think our goal should be to use the crest to get in there. Whatever reason we want to use, we use it. It's not overcomplicated. And then once we're in there, what we'll do is we'll talk to them for a little bit and then ambush them. We need to have Dresden tackle, and maybe with your two Dresden clones, tackle Einbach while we attack the Empress and try to hold her back, while the whale, Mark, eats the chain. That's what I think is possibly best.
I agree.
That's how I picture it.
I just want
on
to
top
say
of that too. Oh,
that
after
it
you.
sounds like we are dealing with someone who is lost themselves, and we're not going to be able to predict how this will go or what will work best. And no matter what we said here planning, she could unravel it immediately.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if it would help if maybe since I was sent here to find a member of Serenity, to ask about why the dead have come back to life, is that perhaps a good enough reason for audience? Because I come from the Everroots, and maybe that will intrigue her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's fine.
Much truth you can put in your lives is always the best. So
yeah, and that could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You can get the information before we ambush.
So the only problem
feel like
is,
I may have
here's the
gotten
thing.
it from you, but she might know more.
Here's the problem. If we attack before we try and secure Trust's life, there's a chance we don't get Trust back.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is, if we do it before, she's never going to agree to give us Trust back.
She already did.
I don't know that for a fact. She did agree to it.
She already agreed once with Dresden, so...
Yeah.
All right. I feel like we're all forgetting that we were attacked by giant guns with, but I guess we can try to trust her.
The room, when you were with her, she was not surrounded by hundreds of military, no. It was her and one other man.
Yeah, but that was she came to me on that occasion. I think Rez, she's just playing all of her, options when she helped the guild. Yeah.
I mean, no.
Look, if I were her, that's what I would have done too. So,
you know me, I think that saving Trust is numero uno of what we need to do right now, but I just worry that might show our hand too quickly, and then they'll have the upper hand on us instead of us being able to ambush them. But it's up to you. Whatever you think.
Things are going to get complicated regardless, so I think we just need to flow with whatever happens. The only thing that I'm worried about, Dresden, is that you stay as far away from the Empress when chaos ensues as possible, because you told me about that whole thing where she kind of messes with your brain a little bit, so I don't want to be fighting you on top of another version of you and her.
I think she might be able to do that to anyone.
Probably true, but I'm assuming her focus is going to be on you.
Well, maybe. If I smile, she won't even know it's me.
We still don't even know that if you just went up to her and said he's gone, she would just do what she said she would.
She might. We don't know.
All right, well, let's try it.
But as the Guardian said, she's not really in her right mind, so...
Right.
I don't know. It's a gamble either way.
Let's try it. If you think that's... Go with your gut. I think that's the best thing
Here's
to
the
do.
thing.
We should do that.
I think the thing that gets us through the door most efficiently without raising suspicion is that Maeve, you go in as your honest self asking your question, and we come in as your followers, whatever, in disguise, in orange or peach robes, whatever. And once we get there, once we have the audience, it gives us a chance to actually look around and see if it's a fool's errand, right? And at that point, maybe I step forward and say, I'm here to claim the reward. I've gotten rid of that. We bring forth trust, right? If shit goes south, we attack. If trust is brought back, we let trust be brought back, and then we do the tackling, and the giant little baby floating whale eats the chain, because that makes total sense.
Right.
Right.
As good a plan as any. Jeez.
Okay. All right,
so a few things I have to ask you. We did get a bunch of cool items in that chest back there, and I was wondering, Cornelia, do you think it's a good idea to let maybe Dresden borrow that strength, that really awesome glove you have, so it can really hold back Einbach for a while? Or do you want to keep that on you for holding back the Empress?
Wherever it's needed, to be honest. If there's going to be most people on the Empress, then maybe Dresden should have the glove for Einbach.
Okay.
Hopefully you can just absorb them really quick or something and just get rid of them. I don't know.
Is this a thing that all you have to do is put it on?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to spend any time just caressing it and oiling it and being all weird like all that other magic shit.
Putting it under your bed,
I didn't even think you had to yell woohoo.
All right, great. Well, then maybe maybe we just keep things like that as an option. Just throw it to whoever needs it, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Great.
Okay.
By the way, I'm gonna be pretty useless in there because go ahead.
I just forgot about those trinkets, and I had a little heart, and I don't remember what it did. It gave
Your
me
heart
+1 to spin.
had given you 19 Constitution.
Oh, that's right. Okay, thank you. Sorry.
But -1
we had-
charisma.
Shut up. Got it.
And who had the floating buckler? Who is in possession
I
of
think
that right now?
Steve had that, right?
Steve's got that.
Woohoo!
The animated shield.
Woohoo!
Powered by the.
Right, powered by the woohoo.
No
It
hoo-has?
had said
No, who
Hoo-ha.
has?
with the
With feeling.
Yeah. So I think we get those things distributed, right? What else do you have, Racing?
Oh, I was gonna say I'm gonna be pretty useless in there because I can't use magic or I go all weird brain.
I mean, if you vomit, you vomit.
Do you need a sword?
Yeah. I'm okay. I have a sling, but I was gonna say, Pup. I think out of all of us, maybe if I cast that enlarge spell on you, we can try to hold back the Empress, and we'll help you as well. But maybe while you're holding it back, you're really good with people, and also you love. If we're being honest, you love Trust the most out of all of us. You have a really great friendship with her, so maybe you can try to talk the Empress into knowing who Trust was and talk her into saving her potentially. All right, great. So yeah, I'll cast that and I'll get all drunk and then I'll pass out probably. Great.
Sounds like a good night,
Oh,
but
I'm your baby.
different circumstances.
Oh,
All right. So we need robes
Get some robes.
and a
Peach
wheelbarrow.
Yeah, we
or
got a robe.
orange?
Peach orange.
Well, let's
I
see
will
what
put
they
my
have.
armor back on and carefully tuck away my new dress and bow in my bag.
Well, I mean, you're still a wanted, right?
But why would anyone believe me if I was
Well, we're not
wanted in
going.
my armor?
No, we're not going right there right yet. Is the thing?
Well, that's what I will do when we go,
Okay.
or whatever.
well, it's okay. I have an extra cloak. You can borrow this if you want. I don't have any orange cloaks, but I have, that one.
Okay.
So you guys are just looking for some like very basic cloaks.
Well, I mean, don't
Orange
tell
or
us too
peach
short.
Well, I mean the
We prefer fashionable.
We want him to
Yeah.
connect.
clothes here
Yeah.
are very expensive, especially clothing items, because
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
material components
Forgot about that.
that aren't spiritual tend to be rare, very rare.
Okay.
Fitz's cloak sold for nearly 30 crests, I believe.
How much for dye? Or bleach? We've all got a cloak, right?
Yeah.
Everyone got a
You might
cloak?
be able to find
Yeah.
some bleach in like an inn or something.
Do they look somewhat similar? All of our cloaks?
You know,
Probably,
most
yeah.
of them are
Yeah.
traveling cloaks. They don't look fine or nice by any means, but they do look worn and traveled.
Do we need to worry about it all looking the same? I mean, you're all clearly not dwarves, so.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, your cloaks look
I just figured.
passable. As a
Like
as a
all
collection.
together as a group? Okay.
Yeah.
Well then, yeah, fuck it.
Then we're good.
Might have to just go with passable. I don't
Yeah,
look good
so
in
put-
white anyway.
So put the armor
That's what
on
you do.
anyway. Yeah. All right.
Okay, so you guys, what are you guys doing? Are you guys just going as a group to the gate?
Are we doing
Yeah, I
this
mean,
now?
I guess. Well, I think
Yep.
we're just talking about it real quick. I think we'll have Maeve just be our leader and we'll follow.
Mhm.
Cloaks up. You know, we don't talk. We just let Maeve do
And
the
the-
talking.
What's the cue to start? Like, is there a word to be like, 3, 2, 1, go? It's too many words.
Maybe no
but-
hoo-has.
If shit gets you'll know. I think
Yes.
you'll know.
I think
And if you don't
Dresden-
know, I'll scream out Cornelia Co. Assemble.
I think that
Work with that.
Dresden will, if he is about to approach to ask about trust, feel free to interrupt me at any time, and Then from there, yes, it will be very obvious which way it's going.
Yeah. I think it's pretty much gonna go one way or the other as soon as we get in there, so just read the room. Be cool.
All right. Don't be
I don't know how to
do
do
it.
that.
Yeah, neither do I.
Just be yourselves.
Yeah, just be yourself.
Disguise.
Be confident.
Well-
So, not
No,
yourself.
that's
don't-
worked out
No,
so well
I
so
should turn back
far.
into the oldie.
Oh,
Yeah,
Why-
yeah,
yeah.
totally.
Right.
yes.
Be yourselves, but quieter.
Is there like one that's better? Like, have we met anyone that's like better for me to turn into?
I mean, then the racist innkeeper? Yeah, pretty
could
much
you-
everyone.
Could you turn into another dwarf?
Yeah.
And I turn into oh god, have we met any dwarves? I mean, I'm sure
The
there
most-
would have been
the
dwarves.
most
You've seen
Uncomfortable
some
caricature of a
dwarves,
dwarf.
but you really haven't met, like, legitimately gotten to know any dwarves.
What about who's the one that was sitting on that almost stabbed me? That was gonna buy drugs from in that city. Wasn't that a dwarf pirate looking lady?
I think that was
Was it a dwarf or a
No,
gnome?
wasn't the guy that made you your honey spoon a dwarf?
No, that was a human.
Oh.
That was a young human.
Oh.
Is
Yeah,
Ogden
so
a
much more
dwarf?
sense now.
But the day before that, there was like the woman sitting on that barrel
You've
trying to sell me
seen
core.
Dwarves
I
before.
thought that was
Okay.
a gnome.
I thought that was a gnome
Yeah, it
or
was a gnome,
halfling.
huh?
That was a halfling woman.
Okay. Anyway, I've
Alright.
seen dwarves before in my time, and I see them wants to turn into them, so I just turn into like.
Okay, roll me a
Generic dwarf number
charisma.
3.
Roll me a charisma check.
Yeah, and I still have alter self up, so I'll also turn into a dwarf as well, just to get like a lot of red.
Roll me
charisma check?
Also
Right,
roll
red
me
hair.
a charisma check, Rezik. Yeah,
Mine's 14.
a 14. Okay, you know it's
Charisma.
pretty good. Maybe you look at Pup.
No,
you're like,
14 too. Nice.
You are a passable dwarf, and Rezik, you're a passable dwarf. Nothing overtly offensive to you, May. They aren't hitting any stereotypes that aren't true hard or anything like that. They I mean, you know, it's not on them, but you know, you look at-
Oh my god, you're so annoying. I can't do that. I like literally can't do that. So dumb.
Okay. Alright, so you guys look like a well-assembled
Dwarvish?
group. Yeah. With the exception
So
of
have
one of
the
you who's like
two
younger
dwarves
than
behind me.
quite younger than the rest. You guys look like a very a unit.
Excellent. All right. Let's do this. Okay.
So we'll
Maeve,
give we probably should give
dances over to
Maeve all
Maeve.
that crest before we go up there, right? Just so they
Yeah.
have it immediately. Okay.
Or one of you can have it and present it and make it look all like she's a noble person, a noble.
I'm still pregnant, right? Yeah.
Speaking of that, guys,
Pregnant
before we actually do this,
Dwarf.
are we gonna look for Fitz at all?
Might be a thing to deal with after if we all are still alive.
Okay, I'm just saying, keep your eyes peeled
Yeah.
and ears open.
You think
I
you can
was-
just hear us?
If we were outside when I was on the Eagle, I would have looked for him.
Okay.
I just remembered
yeah,
that.
and you scour around. Roll me an investigation.
Investigation. 6 minus 1. 5.
I mean, there aren't many people around, and despite all of the guild that are down below, there's really no one on the outside of Hojo, and through that barrier, it would be impossible to make out any details, as it kind of looks like the blanket of disturbed water kind of moving around. Just really nothing, no details, no clues to Fitz's whereabouts or anything like that.
Oh, got a brain freeze.
Brain freeze. Yeah.
Oh, I was just like, oh man, Kate's really taking this.
Taking this.
Oh, we can't find it.
I
No,
think
I
it's safe to say that if that Fitz would first come back to town to look or find any of us, and that this is the most likely place we would run into him.
Yeah, either that or he's being held captive by the guild.
In which case, we're not gonna go after them. They're gonna come take him back here at some point.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, let's keep it in mind.
All right.
Okay,
Be
maybe
mindful.
you walk up to that big, huge gate. It's a big red gate with these wings that kind of come off on the top. It looks like a temple of sorts, as it has this big cross-section door that would open in, but it's very, very heavy and all made of metal, and the stone enclosure all around it. You see about 10 of those priest-looking tieflings kind of standing in front of this gate.
But none of the guards?
Well, the priests kind of are them.
They are,
There's
okay.
none of the
Got it.
guild isn't. There's none of the guild.
Oh, got it. I am here from the Everroots to seek audience with your Empress. I have the payment.
And he holds his hands out.
And I just pour, or I kind of hand the sack if it's a little overflowing, but it looks good.
So Cornelius,
Presentation.
you kind of walk up with this big sack and put it in his arms. He holds it, weighs it in his hand, and hands it off.
That's my talent.
Nods, and you hear a and that big gate kind of just, you hear a large chain moving across some kind of mechanism slowly opens. Two of the guards on the outside bow respectfully to you as the guard you handed it to bows and holds his hand out for you to enter. And you see that there's this big ring similar to in the granite hold, that ring that seems to lift you up and through.
They are with me. This is my fellowship. They will come. I bow back and start to walk forward.
Okay, are you all going?
Yes, and I want to look at any of these mechanisms that made this gate open as we enter to try to figure out how to open this gate again when we leave.
You assume that there's some crank somewhere, and there's the walls themselves are very thick. Roll me a investigation check.
12?
12. You can't really see anything. It's hidden well, but you see that there's these very cleverly masoned doorways that are very hard to see from the angle you're at, and they seem to open up into these, like, maybe the walls are hollow and there's some kind of mechanism inside these walls, maybe a crank of some sort that for decoration purposes has been hidden away out of sight. You all walk into that big round platform. That priest kneels down, puts his fingers to his forehead, touches the circle, starts to incant, and you all start to feel a lightness. Your bodies filling with air as you start to lift high, high, high up into the air, into this blackness above you. And you all seem to move. And for maybe 25 or 30 seconds, you all look around, and there's just stars and this giant moon shining on you as you all fly upward faster and faster and faster and faster.
Does it look like the platform that we came through here on?
No,
Okay.
it's quite different. And the stars themselves seem to be moving by you. The moon itself, behind it, you see thousands of those massive creatures tearing at the night sky, ripping to get in. And then right there, in an instant, you're standing on this grassy opening. This massive white stone and wooden gate pup, what you had seen from outside, in front of you and the stars above shining. You guys see this gate with 3 of those priests and Dresden, that tiefling that you had met inside the granite hold, talking to one of them. And as we come over here onto our battle map, you guys land and you see these 2 double doors into this big wooden enclosure, these big vaulted blue roofs about 10 feet above you. You guys land here. That priest on the circle nods and opens his hand to you. You see that tiefling, Dresden, that you had once met in the Ebonhold, and Kelwise, you and Rezik had met him as well, very shortly. He sees you and walks up.
My cloak.
Do you have news for the Emperor?
Oh, like he straight up recognizes me? Even with my super stealthy hood up?
I went for the orange
And
cloaks.
fake beard.
He does seem to recognize you.
Shit.
Even with the fake beard? Oh, darn it.
It is a nice beard. Yeah, I was afraid of this. I do.
But also, I came here paying for a very honest reason for a question I have.
You are here
For the
to see the
Empress.
Empress?
I am, yes.
And what business do you have with the Empress?
Well, I was sent here by the Everroots to seek audience.
I will speak with you. Please wait here. Cullen, roll me
Okay.
an
I don't
investigation.
even have a dice in front of me.
Jaymes, I'm on roll 20, but I'm not seeing
Yeah,
this
I don't either.
map.
Oh,
Boo this man!
do you want to see the map? Hold on. I gotta move you here.
I thought that's why you gave us the link. So we
Boo
could see
this
the map.
man!
Also, I'm
What?
dying over your photo, Kate.
You're showing
Hi.
everyone the thing now. By the
Yeah,
way.
it's so
I'm
funny.
Yeah,
gagged.
that's fine. That's fine.
That's
Uh,
fine. That's fine.
You know what?
It's like the face you make when you step in water with socks on.
Yeah, it is, actually.
Okay, you wanted me to make an investigation?
Yes.
Can I use my super fucking Batman powers? But I don't remember how they work?
Yeah, with advantage.
Okay.
Well, if only there was a bard to give
Means you roll 2 die. Make sure you take the best one.
The exact same number.
Hopefully a good one.
13.
A 13. It might have been your imagination, but something seems off with this guy. You couldn't really pinpoint what it was.
Hmm.
You remember when you met him the first time, very cool, calm, and collected. Very composed person. Now,
Not so much?
not so much, but you can't really tell where on the pendulum he is right now. He walks over to these doors. One of them opens. He walks through. It closes. The next one opens. Down here.
He's gonna
he walks through.
whisper to everybody to
He
be on
walks off.
guard because this guy seems a bit off.
And you guys are left out there for what seems like 20, 25 minutes. A very, very long time before he comes back.
Did someone
First
open the
gate
doors?
opens. It seems like, yeah. It seems like these priests here had opened. They had done something, had cranked something down, and it had lifted the gate.
So mechanical, not magical, to open
Cranked
it.
that
Seems
soldier
mechanical,
boy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That gate opens up when he ushers you. The Empress will see you now. Hear you out. But please, make it brief. She is not not well.
I'm very sorry to hear that. I, of course, am just here to get my question answered and will be done.
Okay. Are you guys going in? All of you?
No. Yeah.
Everyone wants to come? Okay, yeah, everyone come in.
Hell yeah.
Okay. You guys all enter. He walks you down this long, long hallway up. You see many priests standing in this long hallway. You walk through. He turns a corner. He holds you, puts his hand up, telling you to wait. Walks in. Bows. Your guests have arrived. And as he moves to the side, he ushers you in. And you guys file in to this room. A clear marking on the floor where to stop. I don't know how you're walking in or how you want to be positioned. And you look down into this room. And you guys see the Empress. Glass of wine in her hand. That big, long, golden robe just kind of hanging off her body. And this woman, she has just curves in all the places that every single one of you, it's weird, but like, it's impossible not to notice this kind of extensive sexuality she emits. The second you walk into this room, your body's just kind of reacting unconsciously. And you see behind you, sitting, kind of rubbing his face, this Dresden with big bags under his eyes, clearly Einbach, as he seems to be just in a state, rubbing himself, just kind of not all there. And she looks, you look on her face and her eyelids, not fully open, just kind of lounging in this chair, big glass in her hand. Oh, you're back. Throws the glass on the ground and you hear a crash that kind of echoes through the room. And a man in armor standing next to them over here lifts his helmet, the face of his helmet, and Marks stands. And you notice in the corner someone bundled up. Marks smiles, and just out of the corner of your ears, you kind of see and hear muffled moanings. Someone who can't quite get out words, but unmistakably fits. Tied up in a sack. As Marks just sits with this big grin across his face.
Is this how you treat everyone who pays to have audience with you? I have a serious question.
What is your serious question? Get on with it.
What?
And be gone.
I was sent here by the Everroots and the Oathkeeper. I always get her name wrong.
Valkeeper.
Yeah.
Oathkeeper. And the Oathkeeper. Valkeeper?
Yeah, Valkeeper.
Because things are amiss and the dead have come back to life. And we seek answers.
You seek answers about what?
About the dead coming back to life. The living dead.
Well, if Cadix doesn't know, why does he think I would know? I don't meddle in the affairs of Aventide anymore. You waste my time. Another glass! And she snaps her fingers, and one of those priests rushes over to this big galley filled with wine bottles and glasses, pours her another glass, hands it to her, bowing. And she grabs the glass and looks at it disgusted, wipes the glass where he touched it, and then takes a sip. Is that all?
Well, you don't look well. Do you need help from any of us?
I don't look well. Do you insult me?
No, I am concerned.
You
I hear you are great. I've heard good things about you.
Well, that must be a lie. Cadix and I did not see eye to eye. As you must
No,
know.
this was not from him.
And her eyes kind of move to you, Dresden. Well, hello,
Hello
Crown.
again.
Are you back with good news?
I am. Are you in a mood to do business?
Business.
Yes.
A dirty word.
It is, isn't it?
Have you brought me what I want?
I've completed the task.
Oh. All right. Then the Guardian will not bother me anymore. And she looks to Einbach, starts stroking his head, and when she touches him, he kind of recoils, almost like his body too sensitive to even be touched by another person. And that chain glimmering in her left hand. All right. What was it that you wanted?
I had a friend who needs reviving.
Reviving. Ah, yes. The trash child I cast out. Right?
The very same.
Ugh. Bring her forward. I will see what I can do. No promises, though. I really don't see why you make such a big fuss. She kind of sits up in her chair. And all the while, everybody roll a perception check.
Not 20.
Nat 20.
15.
15.
25.
Pup is so uncomfortable. Pup is way
19.
too busy being the most
18.
uncomfortable they have ever been.
Yeah. So Cornelia, Rezik,
19 for me, 19 for me. So.
and maybe
Same.
you guys sense there's a weird tension in this room. Not just from the two of them, but the priests themselves. Some of them, just slightly, you hear the creaking of the floorboards move back and forth as they shift their feet a little uncomfortably. You hear the Empress.
But we can't tell from where this uncomfortableness is coming from.
It's just kind of emanating from
It's just
everyone.
there. Okay.
Everyone feels tense and uncomfortable.
Do all of them have weapons, staffs?
They have those
Sword.
staffs, those long staffs with a ring and then other rings kind of attached at the ends. They all kind of have the same weaponry. And the Empress looks, well, bring her, quickly, so I can be rid of you.
Birth me, pup.
And you pull her out, covered in those vines still captured in a mask.
Placenta.
We'll bring her here. And she tells you to put her down at her feet. And she looks at Trust.
While this is happening, can I just kind of put my hand just gently on the Dresden's back and just kind of whisper like, "It's tense in here."
Yeah, you're telling me, buddy.
Be ready. Be ready.
Yeah.
She looks down at Trust. You know, if you wanted. And she slaps back down into her seat and puts her feet up on Trust's body. Oh, she makes a good footrest. And starts laughing hysterically. Oh,
Actually,
just.
I thought she was more of a wall ornament myself, but
Oh, Elizar, you're so funny.
yeah.
I don't disagree with you. Or maybe you could put her on the front of a ship, and you could scare away all the rest of the mortals. And
That's
she just
actually what I
downs her
suggested.
glass and smashes it. I will see what I can do. She puts her hands on Trust. And the entire time, you guys see Marks in the corner. Just this grin on his face. And as she's looking him over, Marks looks up at you. Dresden, Maeve, Pup, Cornelia. Looks around each one of you. You've got my prey. So I've heard.
What?
I just smile back.
You've got a nice smile. Would be such a pity if something were to happen to it.
Are you threatening me?
No. Not you. And he slowly pulls off of his glove in his gauntleted hand. And you see him walk just a few steps closer.
I'm in front of the table, right?
He pulls up. Yeah.
Because I brought
And
it.
in the flash, he pulls out looks like this really crooked, bent, what looks like a crystal shard on the end of a dagger. Don't worry, I always get my prey one way or another. He flips this dagger around and shoves it into the back of the Empress. You hear this blood-curdling scream as the Empress arches her back, and you start to hear thousands and thousands of voices start to scream and echo through this place as these souls start to get ripped one by one into this dagger, pulled.
Save her! Save her!
One by one. And he looks up and smiles at you all. And that's where we're going to go on break.
Oh my god.
God, assholes. No matter where we go, assholes.
Thank you, everyone, for hanging with us
Roll
right
this
now.
bullet.
We're gonna go on a quick. We're gonna go on a 15-minute break. Meanwhile,
Hoo-ha.
Hoo-ha, hoo-ha, da-da-da-da-da-day, all the hoo-ha day.
That's a fun song.
Oh, God. Literally, like, the camera's shaking.
The techno version, yeah.
Oh, my God.
you guys are stunned. The
Oh.
room explodes
Literally or
in
metaphorically?
Did we listen
One,
to
two, three.
black
or
and white streaks of souls that seem to be screaming, penetrating the walls around you as you see this crooked dagger made of some black crystal start to suck the very life force out of the Empress. And as she screams into the air from her many voices, you see Einbach grab his head and start to shake back and forth on the ground. Marks pulls out a coin, flips it into the air, and you see a giant metal wall appear
Oh, good, it's getting worse.
and start to fall, cutting off the half of the room, the north from the south. As we look
Like, being able to do
at
anything
this
about this.
map, this gate begins to fall quickly.
yeah, can we like stop him? And...
No, he's able to stab and throw a coin, and we just
A
stood there.
gate begins to
Oh,
fall
we're stunned.
right here. It hasn't fallen yet, but this metal mesh. And Pup, you had dropped off Trust, so you
Yeah.
were here.
I'm like all the better.
And Dresden, had you stepped forward? I think you had stepped forward. No,
I mean, it's polite.
I don't know if you had stepped on the other side of this, but the rest of you will see. Is anyone gonna try and dive under that gate?
Yeah, I mean, I'm right in front of it.
Yeah,
You see
I think
that this
we
gate coming
me
down
and,
has these
and
large,
Maeve will.
almost spear-like head tips on the bottom as it comes flying down.
Oh,
Who's
jeez.
diving underneath?
Wait, which gate again?
1, 2. There's a
I mean, I
gate right
guess
here.
we all will, right? I mean, is it?
I don't know
Can
why
we
I'm
see through the
gray.
gate, or is it like?
Am I crazy? Why do I not see this
Yeah,
gate?
It's really light. It's like light
cross-section.
gray.
Yeah, it's like
Trying to-
gray.
Let me change.
Oh, right there. Oh, got it.
There we go. The gate.
Do we know where? We do know where it is. Where the latch or who started closing it? Or
No,
it was
it's magic.
the coin thing. Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
Reed?
I guess.
And
Yes.
And Steve and Maeve, you two are actually first up.
Yeah.
If you guys
Damn
are
right we
diving
are.
into that, roll me dexterity saving throws.
Oh,
Maybe
dexterity
a little
saving throw.
closer. Yes.
gosh.
Yeah,
Try
and a
and
little
dive
closer.
under this gate.
Dexterity
I
saving
don't really
throw.
know
That's a 19.
literally in front of
A
me.
19. Steve slides
Oh!
underneath.
21.
Hey!
Yeah.
Steve and Maeve, you guys slide under this gate as it smashes into the ground. The entire place starts to shake. Steve, Maeve, what are you guys doing after you slide through there?
He still has the dagger in her.
Yes.
I'm going to command him. I'm going to cast command on him. Wait, okay, question. Actually, if I cast Sanctuary on her, but he's already got it, would that
wouldn't-
count? It wouldn't
No,
count.
he's
He'd
already
have to
got
like
it.
take it out and stab her again. Okay, so then I'm going to cast command on him. And
Roll me a Constitution saving throw as well.
oh wait. Oh, you're right. Oh wait, you're right. I forgot the
But
magic.
the magic poisons us.
Forgot about that. Okay, well, then, in that case, I'm 5, 10, 15 feet away. That totally ruined
Babe, do you want me to take a
Oh.
shot?
Yeah,
It
take
would
a
be-
shot.
Cool. I'm gonna take a shot. Not, but like you get what I mean.
Yeah. Take a
Right
shot.
at big boy here. So that is gonna go to actions. Okay, we're gonna take a shot. Pepper box. Here we go. It's a 19. That's plus 19 plus what is it? Plus 6.
19
Or it's a
plus
19 to
six
hit. No, oh no, sorry. It's plus dex, right?
plus dexterity plus your proficiency. So probably
Okay,
plus
so-
6 sounds about right.
Probably plus 6.
Yeah, it's plus 6.
So 25?
25.
25 hits. Roll damage. So you pull out your gun quickly as you slide under that. You fire a shot. And it smashes into the armor he's wearing.
It should. That's gonna be 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage. Okay.
Would I be able to have used my reaction of Channel Divinity Rebuke the Violent on him?
I believe that Rebuke the Violent, isn't that when you get hit?
No, it's damage. After an attacker within 30 feet deals damage with an attack against a creature other than you, you can use your reaction to force the attacker to make a Wisdom saving throw.
So you'd be hurting Reed with that attack.
But
He's the
aren't we
attacker.
going at the same time? I'm
Yes,
talking
but
about the
that
attack he
causes-
made on.
Wouldn't you be hurting
Her.
Marks?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Mark stabbed her. I rebuke the violent.
Oh, you're rebuking that stab. I see what you're saying. I thought you were making
Yeah.
the shot that
No,
was doing.
no.
You now have done 0 damage. Oh.
Yes, they need to make a
Me was a
wisdom
traitor
saving
the whole
throw.
time.
Yes, Wisdom saving throw DC 13.
13. He unfortunately passes.
Okay. Then I'm just going to attack with my long sword of sharpness.
Okay, so you
I'll
run
just
up to
go up there.
you run
yeah.
up to him and you start to attack. Roll
Yeah,
an attack?
specifically trying to like break. Oh, no, I don't want to be specific, but I'm trying to break his concentration. Okay. 13. No. 12.
12? 12 doesn't hit, unfortunately. You strike out at him and he holds up one of his metalled gauntlets like a shield and blocks the attack.
Yeah. All right.
at the
Wait,
same-
can I do my extra attack?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Remembering how to play this character. Yes. Okay, that is a 22 to hit.
22
Yeah.
hits.
Hey.
1d8 plus 3. D8, where you at?
Come on, 8.
It's a 2. 5.
Damn it.
5
Oh,
damage.
chase it, Bobby! Keep it to yourself!
Okay,
Come on,
so
1.
you
Come on.
strike him, and his armor seems really tough. Maybe more tough than what normal iron would be. And it's hard to tell because it's under these cloaks, but you can feel a lot of resistance when you slash out with your sword at this guy.
Yeah.
At the same time, Marks looks at you, smiles, Maeve, looks into the air, and this jagged, long hammer appears in his hand.
This guy?
And it's already up in
How
the
is
air,
this guy?
and he's bringing this almost pointed head on the edge of a hammer straight at you.
At Steve or Maeve?
At Maeve. He rolls a 17. Does it hit?
Don't forget your plus Constitution, if that matters.
No,
doesn't add the
I
armor
had
class.
no,
That just
it
adds to
doesn't.
health. What's your
I
armor
think
class?
it hit unless my armor class is 15. I was just wondering if I had anything that I forgot to add that gave me any boost, but I don't think I do.
15. You guys hear this?
But don't forget my
As
armor.
you see
Pretty good.
Maeve just go flying. Maeve, roll a strength saving throw.
Okay. That will be a 24.
A 24. Maeve, you take 14 points of damage, and your body is flung backwards. You manage to stay on your feet, but this giant shockwave emits from the edge of the tip of this hammer, almost like a sonic boom, as he smacks you away, still draining. And from that close, Maeve, you can see the energy from the dagger seems to be seeping into his hand. And it seems like the veins in his arm, these black
Cut his
tendrils,
hand
are
off!
starting to run up through his gauntleted hand, all around him. At the same time,
14.
you guys, all of the
Have.
priests in the room throw back these kind of coverings, and you see humans in robes. The guild, standing in
coup.
these robes. They all pull out arms and come to attack at you. Steve, 2 of them. Well, actually, 1 of them would run here. 2 of them attack Dresden. Maeve,
Son
one
of a
them tries
bitch, this
to
was our
catch you, and
plan.
This one tries to attack you, Steve. So Dresden,
It's
2
joint
of them,
forces.
come
Dresden,
slashing
now
at you
is
with
such a good time for you to get massive.
with short swords. 2 short sword attacks, Dresden. Both of them miss. One at you, Steve.
Huh.
That attack
Who the hell
misses
do we
as
help
well.
in
And
this
Maeve,
situation?
1 attack at you. You managed to hold up your gauntlet and block this one. All of you up above, you guys are also ambushed by these guards that seem to be running in. These guild members who are covered up in these cloaks. They rush you, including that one tiefling who had led you in here. He pulls out a sword made of this
Good
blue
lord.
brandished metal, and you can see in his face he's torn. He's upset. He is clearly under duress of some sort as he swings at you.
Maybe he's charmed.
4 attacks at you, Rezik. One is a 23. Oof.
Plus
Natural
dex,
20?
So,
Oh.
one sec.
And
So,
19?
13 plus dex. That's 15 AC right
And
now.
a 22.
Okay.
Boy.
I don't know. 1 second. So I right now I have my major armor up, so I have 15 AC. But then I have a shield I can use, so I'll use shield. And shield gives me
That
plus
should add
5, so I'll have 20 for this round.
So 2 hits and 1 critical hits you
Jesus. Okay.
of these swords.
Oh, Relic's dead.
Yeah.
Sad times.
3. Oh my gosh.
I mean, do we try to talk these guys into helping us, or would we help with Empress?
We're
What do
gonna
we
get
fucking do
good
here?
buns back, I guess.
Jesus.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Lord.
good buns is pretty awesome too.
And on deck,
Resik,
Yeah.
you better
On
charm
deck
that
is-
tiefling.
Pup, Kelwise, and Dresden, you guys are up next. Let me just pull out this handy dandy chart. Roll me a D100. Resik.
Oh, do you want me? Okay.
Make it a low number.
Where is the D100? I'll use the D&D Beyond. One sec. Roll.
So the
Okay, I
first-
got a 11. Oof.
An 11. Resik, Resik, the tip of your middle finger is sliced clean off with this attack, and then slashed back across your arm. You take 11 from the first attack, 6 from the second attacker, 3 from the third. So you take 20 points
20.
damage total, and you
Ugh,
manage to block the fourth attack with your all right. You managed to block the
believe in
fourth
you.
attack with your shield. At the
right.
same time, Kelwise, 1 attacks you. Actually, 2. Well, this one we're moving here. 2 attack you, Kelwise, with their short swords. One of them is a 23, and one of them is a 13. What's your AC?
16.
16. You take 5 points of damage from the one slash, and Cornelia, that tiefling with this bluish blade flashes quickly, proficiently, takes 2 slices at you. One of them, a natural 20. One of them, a 2. This blade slashes into you, and you start to feel your insides freeze, Cornelia. You take 4 points of slashing damage and 8 points of cold damage as you see your whole body start to get racked with these cold, freezing pains. And he looks to you in his eyes and whispers under his breath, "I am so sorry." Meanwhile, Pup.
I'm halving that with my reaction, by the way. Just gnome.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, and I would have all of it.
And okay. I'll find out how much that was from Jason.
Oh, 12. It was 12 damage. You take 6. Pup, Kelwise, Dresden, this all happens around you. What are you guys doing?
Do we like hear any of the apologies?
No. The apology was whispered under his breath. Really only close enough for Cornelia.
Got it. But we can see that they look sad, right?
Only that one tiefling looks sad. The
Oh,
rest
okay,
of them
okay,
look
okay.
crazed. They look like just guild members who a little excited to be in the fray.
Okay.
Can we see through the wall?
Yes. It's like a metal
Okay.
grate.
It's like, oh, okay. Huh.
The school
That makes
fence.
it worse, but okay.
Yeah.
Or like
Sweet.
when the malls put the thing down.
Mhm.
Okay.
Who out of us is first?
Whoever wants to go first. Whoever.
Pup, Kelwise, Dresden, you guys all have turns right now. What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
I would want to freaking try to stop what's his face from stabbing her.
Okay.
What
are you doing?
So I'm going over to Mark's. I'm gonna go over to him, and then how big is he?
He's a pretty large man. He's still a medium-sized creature, but he's still a pretty large man.
I'm gonna do what I can to try to put my staff around him and grapple him to the ground, using like
Okay.
Like I'm gonna try to like, if I can, put my staff around him and then trip him down, like swipe his leg.
You're gonna try to trip.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, so roll a athletics check. And he got
14
a
plus 4.
23.
Okay, so 14 plus 4 is not enough.
So you try and sweep his leg, and his body is just heavy, especially with that thick armor plating below him. So you try and sweep him out, and he doesn't budge.
Got
He
it.
manages to keep his balance.
Got it. That's not
one
much else
attack.
I can do.
That's
Oh,
one
that's right. I
attack.
have 2 attacks. So then for my second one, I'm just gonna try to put my staff around him and just pull him away, or just like
You're
keep
gonna
his
try and
arms
grapple
down
him?
so that he can't like put his arms up. Yeah, just like with the staff.
Okay.
Just
Roll another grapple.
or my staff. it's okay. It's right there. What am I rolling? Sorry.
Another athletics. He got a
Athletics?
15.
That is a 17 plus 4.
Okay, so you managed to grapple him, and you're trying to. So you basically have him, and you're holding him steady. And that was your second attack.
Mhm.
Okay, so you guys see Pup run up, wraps their staff around him, and grabs him tight as he's sucking in this energy. At the same time, Dresden, what are you doing?
So he's restrained.
He's grappled right now.
Grappled.
He can't move
Okay.
out of. His movement is essentially 0, and then on Pup's next turn, they can like either move him around or push him.
All right. So he's having a tough time dodging giant axes aimed at his face.
Well, he's not completely helpless, but yeah, let's say that.
Let's say aimed at his abdomen.
Okay.
All right. I'd like to try and how tall is Maeve? Not super tall, right?
She's a medium size, but she's like
We
5
have it.
foot, 4.5.
5 foot, plenty. 4.5. I'd like to, if I can, just kind of like vault over, just jump over
Okay, roll
Maeve and
athletics.
land in that space next to in between. Is that Fitz in the corner? Yeah, exactly.
Fits right here, yeah.
Athletics.
Mhm.
12.
12. Yeah, that's enough. You vault over Maeve.
Thank you for being short, Maeve.
Even as Maeve is on the step above you, you still manage to leap over, land on this stairway
Well,
on the other side.
You know, I do one of those leapfrogs, like hands on the shoulders kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then Fitz is in a bag down there,
He's
moaning.
in like a potato sack, and it seems like he's also
Okay.
restrained inside this said potato sack.
Okay. I'd like to try and cut open the sack if I can.
Okay, you cut open the sack and you see Fitz tied with like 6 ropes. His arms are like this, and he's got this big
Arms.
thing in his face, like a
His one arm
He grew arms.
tied to his neck.
His arm is tied up like this.
Okay. How much more can I do? Because I'd like to try and cut him free with my sword.
You could probably use the rest of your turn to like cut him free
Okay.
if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'd like to cut him free.
Okay.
And then drop the sword. Action surge.
Ooh, action surge.
Just shout at him, on your feet, soldier, and then fucking just bring the herniax directly into my hands and fucking smash this fucking asshole right in the wherever it'll hurt the most.
Okay. You bring it down.
Right in the
Trying not to
wherever
hit
it'll
Maeve.
hurt
You
the
come
most.
like just straight down with this axe.
Yeah.
You're action surging, so you get 2 attacks.
Okay. Now, since he's like being grappled, is that not disadvantage? Is it a straight roll? What's your ruling?
Roll me an investigation check.
No.
Weird. Okay.
With Batman powers.
Batman time. All right. The 19.
A 19.
Hey.
Normally, one wouldn't get advantage in this situation. But because of your astute ability to assess a situation quickly and use it to your advantage, you gain advantage, which evens you out for these two attacks.
Okay.
Nullifies the disadvantage of the Herniacs.
Ooh, I don't think that's enough. It's 12 on the first one.
The first one does not hit.
Oh
He
my
manages
god.
to turn your attack with his gauntleted hand and that big, huge hammer.
I don't think that's gonna do it either. Stupid big giant axe. It's only 14.
14 doesn't hit either.
Fuck.
That big, heavy plate mail he has on is just, it's very hard to penetrate as he turns both your attacks.
Well, whatever. It was worth a try. I say that to him.
What are you doing?
I'm casting Hunter's Mark on the Tiefling first.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna blast him.
You're gonna blast him with what?
I'm gonna blast him with the gun. I'm gonna pull out my gun.
Yeah, baby.
Okay.
And I'm gonna blast him.
All right, roll an attack.
And
Now,
that's
you are-
18 for blasting.
You are like right next to him, so if you're gonna use a ranged weapon on somebody who's within 5 feet of you, you get disadvantage on the attack.
Oh. It's not like a shotgun where it's like more powerful, like guns work.
It's
In
because
real
they
life?
can. It's because they can bat
They
it
can
away
just kind of
because they're so
bat it away
close.
if you're too close to you. It's a little bit harder to pull it out.
Okay, well
you
then
can
I
still go
would
for it.
probably have attacked with my sword.
Okay.
Was an 18 for the attack. I can roll again.
An
if you'd
18,
like.
that's, yeah, if you want to use
Okay.
that's fine. You rolled an 18.
Let's go with that.
Okay.
18. That was 5 before it got messed up. Plus 1 plus 4. 10 damage?
10 damage. Okay. Okay. 10 damage. You deal 10 damage to him. Anything else? You have 2 attacks.
Are they still standing?
He's still standing. Yes.
Then I'm hitting him again.
Okay.
That's a natural 20.
Hey.
Yeah, baby.
Let's go.
All right.
So that's 6 plus 2. That wouldn't matter this time. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 damage?
12 damage. Okay. So you just hit this guy with the tip of your blade. It goes in deep and comes back out, and you see this black, thick blood start to flow out of his shirt as his eyes kind of light up with concern.
And I meet his eyes and say, sorry's not gonna cut it.
All right. And immediately you see this
For flame.
flame shoot back at you. This flame of hatred comes firing back at you
Hellish, we didn't like that.
from his attack.
We didn't like your talk back.
I guess not.
He
Shouldn't have
deals
said anything.
17 points of fire damage back at you.
17?
Boy, that's
Jesus.
I miss being a tiefling.
17? Damn, dude.
At this point,
Hellish rebuke.
Cornelia, Rezik, and Fitz. Fitz jumps up, grabs that blade you gave him, Dresden, points it at the enemy in front of him, and takes 2 attacks. First attack hits. Second attack hits. Fitz is going mad with rage.
That's my boy.
2 max damage attacks. Hacks him down right in front of your eyes, that blade coming across the back, severing the spine of his enemy. The enemy falls to the ground, gasping for breath, as Fitz takes the sword and shoves it through his lung, tears that serrated blade back out. All right, I'm back. You all doubted me, but I am here.
Never once,
You're
buddy.
back. Cornelia and Rezik, what are you guys doing?
I am going to. Do I see anything on this tiefling that might be like the thing, like focus of magic that's controlling him, or?
You don't see anything out of the ordinary. He's in like a pressed military style uniform. He doesn't have any jewelry or anything like that on. And he seems just very... Roll me an insight check.
And by the way, this whole time, Einbox is kind of kicking back.
Einbach
Yeah.
has grabbed his head and he's just rocking back and forth onto the ground.
Oh, okay.
I only rolled a 4.
A 4. Yeah, you don't see anything
Not really a
obvious
threat,
that would do anything.
All right. I am just actually going to pull out my dagger then and try to cut their hand. The hand that they're holding the dagger with, that they
The
stabbed me
sword
with.
hand? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So roll an attack
Of
with
the tiefling?
disadvantage. It's a called
The
shot?
tiefling that's in front of me. Yeah.
Did I not just kill that tiefling?
No.
Oh, is that?
You hit him. He's still standing. You did 22
Oh,
points
wow.
of damage.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Does he
Cool.
look really? Does he
He
look badly
seems
wounded? Like he's
big.
gonna...
I mean, like, I thought he was
wounded him.
down, so I would have used my Colossus Slayer on him and did an extra D8 of damage.
Go ahead.
But
Go ahead.
I,
Use your Colossus Slayer.
I mean,
That's
okay.
But he's not a
I, like,
large. He's not a large
literally-
beast. Does that affect anything, or is it only large?
It's anyone who's taken damage already, and he
Oh,
took
okay.
damage the first time I hit him, so I
Yeah.
would be. I like literally, I thought he was dead, so I did not keep hitting.
No. He's not dead, and he doesn't seem like he's
Okay.
been slowed significantly. Go ahead.
We'll add an extra 8 damage to him.
Ooh, fuck. 30 damage. Yikes. Okay.
Yeah, yikes.
And he's bleeding. He's bleeding badly.
Okay.
Cornelia, roll an attack with disadvantage since it's a called shot.
With disadvantage, it ends up being a 13.
13. Unfortunately, he moves his hand out of the way and parries your blow just before it hits his hand. Are you doing anything else? And Rezik, what are you doing?
I don't know what to do. Who has the whale?
Who has the whale?
I think
the
Dres- I
last
thought
person
Dresden
to
had
put
the
the
whale.
glove on, whoever has the glove, the whale had been licking the glove and following the glove around.
I thought Dresden also had the
Be
glove.
Dresden, yeah.
All right, Dresden. Under your cloak, you do feel this wiggling, little writhing cutie pie.
The fuck is that? Oh, hi, Mark. Am I?
Okay.
Yeah, I guess he's just near me. I mean, I'm not doing anything
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah. He went with you your jump.
Okay.
Yeah. What are you doing, Rezik? What are you doing, Cornelia?
I'm gonna hold my position so that Kelloys doesn't get surrounded, like he already is.
Okay.
Yeah, and just say, can I help you? I'm gonna ask the tiefling, like, can I help you? Are you in trouble? Because he said sorry.
And he looks up at you, and you start to see tears flowing from his eyes.
Look at
Must be
what's
done. The Empress has fallen too far.
he can save
And that's-
her.
And he just looks at you as you say that, and another tear falls down his cheek. Meanwhile, Rezik, what are you doing?
All right. Yeah, I'll hear this in the middle of the chaos of being surrounded by a bunch of people, and I just yelled to him, "It's not too late. Your mom's still in there." And I'm going to just kind of throw my hands up, and I'm going to suddenly like disappear, and I'm going to fade, and I'm going to misty step over to the other side, right in between, or right next to Pup.
Okay, roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. That is a 17.
17. You misty step onto the other side of Pup as you yell that. Your head instantly, just this pang of pain stabbing into your brain as you start to feel just a little woozy. haven't lost consciousness, but your brain just kind of rattles in your head.
Hello, old friend. All right, and I'm just gonna reach up and I'm going to shake that the chain, and just kind of look over at the whale and be like,
You touch
Mark,
the chain.
Din Din.
Before you can even yell anything, your body starts to feel heavy even before your hand touches the chain, but it can't stop, as if you're just being sucked into it. You grab it, and your heart breaks. It's as if you're feeling the strongest love of your life being torn away from you right before your eyes, and you feel thousands of years of this gut-wrenching heartbreak, as if the only thing you care about in this world is being ripped away from you, is being held away from you, just out of your grasp. Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Natural 20. That's lucky.
You just, out of sheer force of will, rip your hand away as this pain subsides, and Einbach for a second looks up at you, and you feel all of this pain, and he has taken all of it on, and it is not just one person, but he has taken the pain of hundreds upon himself. This selfless being wrapped in so much despair that he can't even feel anymore. And just the pain that he feels in his heart is the last dregs of humanity holding him into this world.
Let's lift that pain off your shoulders, pal. I'm just gonna now point weakly. Mark, Din Din. And hopefully Mark will eat the chain. We'll see what happens.
Okay. As that's happening, Marks holds that hammer up in the air, this big grin pulling across his face. He tugs on the dagger just a little harder. The Empress screams out, and you hear this deep guttural roar erupt from outside of Einbach as he screams, and waves of black terror start to flood the battlefield. Everybody roll a wisdom saving throw.
Yeesh.
18.
18.
I also got an 18.
Is it a
18.
magic wisdom saving throw?
It is a magic wisdom saving throw.
Nice.
Mine's a 7.
14.
Mine's 11.
14.
16.
11.
Let's go get a smooth
16. Maeve,
Okay.
Pup, Kelwise, you guys are racked with fear. And the only thought that consumes your brain is escape. The only thing you can think of is to get as far away from this terror, this thing, as possible. And Cullen, what did you get?
Too bad someone put a
18.
gate down.
18. Okay. You guys just racked with fear.
I have an advantage on saving throws against being frightened, but I did not know that until
okay.
you said
roll
this.
again.
So
Yeah. It's a fear.
Does this seem to be affecting the guards as well, or just
Didn't help.
us?
Me too.
Wait, did
Also me.
did you say that it affected me as well?
No,
Okay, just want to be sure.
Good pup, right?
Thank God.
just Pup. Yes. You guys are all just instantly crazed with fear. All of the people around you, this whole place erupts in this violent, fearful panic. Everyone around you starts to scream. Some of the guards drop their weapons. Some of them hold their weapons strong. Meanwhile, he takes that hammer that he was holding up in the air after this scream echoes and starts swinging it wildly at all of you. Maeve, one comes down at your face.
This man is out of his mind.
A 26.
No, that doesn't hit.
fuck.
No.
This
He
guy went
deals
from being like just a dude to like suddenly he's
15
like a god.
bludgeoning damage, and you take 5 sonic damage as this hammer explodes
Jesus.
again. And this sonic boom as it comes down, he brings it to the side. Dresden, this time at you. Maeve, roll me a strength saving throw. Dresden, that's a 21 to hit.
Oh, son of a bitch! I should have switched to fucking defensive.
Dude, this
Nah,
guy's
still would hit me.
rolling.
That's
Fucking good.
Nice trick.
9. That's 9 bludgeoning damage.
Is that how you got, you little bitch?
You take 6 sonic damage as that thing.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, there was
Roll
more.
me another strength saving throw. Maeve and Cullen, what'd you get?
I rolled oh, wait. 13.
A 13. Maeve, you're blasted back 10 feet. You smash this guard into the wall, and both of you go toppling prone onto the ground.
22.
22. You manage to hold your ground, and that dagger deep inside of her, inside this Empress who is just shrieking thousands of different voices, starts to get louder, and it starts to suck deeper, and it's now as if his whole entire hand is just covered by this energy of a soul that has just wrapped his whole arm, and it's just sucking deeper and deeper and deeper into her body. Einbach now just screaming, his head back, his chest unnaturally pushed out, as if his organs and his rib cage just want to explode out into the air, still held by that chain.
Dresden, can you
Steve,
suck that
Maeve.
guy in?
Maeve, roll me a wisdom saving throw.
What now? What now am I rolling?
Steve,
I've
what are
rolled.
you doing?
This is my 4th saving throw
Okay.
in the last 30 seconds.
All right, I got a whole move. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a. Here we go. I'm gonna take a. I'm going to take a deadeye shot at the whole area where he's holding the dagger. Anything that is connected to the dagger, whether it's his hand, that whole spot, I'm gonna take a deadeye shot at it, which means
you're
I
trying to
gain
take a-
advantage.
Called shot. So the called shot would cancel out your advantage.
Right.
But it would just be a regular roll instead of disadvantage.
Cool. Awesome. Natural
I rolled
20.
a 17, by the way.
Oh,
sorry, Sarah.
17. So you smash into the
Sorry.
wall, you scramble to get up, you grab that fence and you start to shake it to try and get away, Maeve, but then you shake your head and that fear kind of, you push it out of your mind
yes,
through
come
your
on.
will as you kind of catch your senses, but not early enough to react this round.
Okay.
Fuck. Damn it.
And what did you roll?
Natural 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah,
man.
Oh,
All right,
Come on.
roll some damage.
Roll some damage. Also, because it's a natural 20, I don't lose any grit points, so I'm still at 4.
Okay. Jesus.
That is a 9.
A 9.
Wait, no, plus. Give me a minute. Plus. Sorry, I forgot about the bonus.
Bonus.
4, so that's 13.
how'd you roll?
Did you double the damage dice?
Yeah, you double the damage dice for a nat 20.
Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Thanks, guys. So that's what? So that's 9, 8. So that's 17 plus 4. So
How'd you get it?
21.
No. You rolled a 9, so you double
it. So it's an 8.
Oh, sorry.
well-
Sorry.
No, go
Unless
ahead.
we're doing max crit hits, right?
We're doing max crit hit.
Max
So it's one
damage.
die is maxed out, and then you roll another. So what are you
So
rolling?
10.
A D10?
Plus
Yeah,
an
D10.
8.
10.
So 10 plus
so
an
it's just
8.
an
Plus
extra
your
10
dex.
addition. So what was your total damage the first time you said?
So it's
9.
I said it was a 9.
9. So you did 19 points of damage with this shot.
Got it.
4.
Plus 4.
Yeah, plus
So 23.
Plus-
And then I'm gonna action surge, and I'm gonna shoot him again.
Okay. So you shoot him, and you blast his hand, and it goes
Oh,
blasting back off of that dagger.
Yes!
The stream stops flowing into him, but you see he's already absorbed so much of that power. His body is just surging with this soul energy. and the dagger still deep within her body, still sucking her energy away as she screams. And you start to see Mark's, his eyes start turning black. And you start to see these big bags start to pull under his eyes, and his cheeks start to jut out just a little bit. And it might be your imagination, but you start to see these horns, these spines start to grow on the back of his head.
I'm holding him still at this point,
So-
right? Fun.
Yes.
Oh,
So
fun.
I action surge and then shot again. I'm gonna make that a violent shot, which means I get a +2 to the misfire score. But if the attack hits, I can roll 1 additional damage die per grit point spent. So,
Do you get? Does he get any advantages for me holding him? For me having him?
Normally, no. It's just their speed
Repelled.
becomes 0 when you're grappling.
Got
So
it.
he can't run away until he breaks your grapple.
Got it. I just didn't know. Okay.
so a good roll.
Yeah, roll attack.
And you're saying I lost my turn.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my god, are you getting your phone to take a
Unfortunately, you rolled
picture?
at the end.
That's a natural fucking 20. Let's go.
Yeah.
Christ.
Come on.
This guy.
Come on.
This guy.
Finally,
Rolling
someone
crazy.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Roll
Okay.
Hey.
hasn't been
attack.
tainted with Bobby dice.
No,
Ten
Don't
plus-
give him dice, Bobby.
Don't
plus
give
your
him
normal
dice.
damage.
Don't do it.
He's my death right now, dude.
I don't
Yeah.
believe it. I don't believe you.
That's plus. Do I add the bonus as well?
So it's 10 plus
So it's
whatever
10.
damage die you roll, the d10,
And then,
plus whatever your dexterity modifier is.
Dexterity.
so that's another. It's another 10.
So 20 damage plus your dexterity modifier,
Mm,
which is plus
4.
That's 4. Yeah.
4. Okay, so 24 points of damage. As
Yes.
that second bullet
That's like
just lines
48
up,
points of damage.
smashes into him. Oh, plus
Murder.
one more D10
Okay.
because you used that shot, right?
Oh my god, another one. Whoa. Just a 1. Just a 1.
Okay.
But that was enough to.
Followed by a
Yeah.
0.
That
Oh,
blasts him
that's
back.
49 points of
Smacks
damage.
against the wall.
Please.
He glares at you, and he starts
Wait, he
to.
smacks the. But I'm holding.
You start to see this ball of black appear in his hand, and similar to that tiefling rebuke, a streak of black lightning shoots back at you.
Wait. Do I still have my movement?
You do, but this happens almost instantaneously in the blink
Yes,
of
it's
an
a
eye.
As he does this, I say woohoo, very loud and with feeling.
You take 8 points of damage as this lightning
right.
streaks into you. His shots just, you see him shaking his head, still just reeling from these 2 impacts that just smash.
Can I rebuke the violent on that?
Now he knows, like,
I know I don't have my turn, but can I have a reaction to that?
You can actually,
Okay.
if you have a second channel divinity. Yes,
There's no. It's just a reaction I have. I don't have a limit on
but
it.
your channel divinity, right? I believe you can use
Oh.
that once per long rest.
Oh, I
Or
see,
twice.
I see, I
I
see.
can't remember.
I didn't understand that. No, I don't have it again. I only have one.
Oh, okay. Unfortunately, you scorn him. You look at him and you're like, not happy with you. All right.
Could I
at the
not
same
have
time-
like prevented that?
What?
Could I not have done anything to prevent that? Like.
Unfortunately, like a magic missiles, it kind of just streaks out
Got
and
it.
around. It's an auto hit. At the same time, let me see. All those guards in the room that just got nailed with this. Oof. All right, so 2 of these guards are fine. This guy here, streaked with fear, starts to scream and attempts to just grab this cage and just starts trying to tear it off as best he can. He runs into this corner, feared.
Find the coin.
3. Oh my gosh, all 3 of these seem fine. 2 of these guys equally as afraid start to streak down this way. These guards aren't technically here. These are not.
Bye. Bye-bye now.
These guys start to run
Bye-bye
down this
now.
hall, running away in fear. This guy, also passes his fear check. These 2 attack. These 5 attack. So 1.
Hellwise, you
got
good,
smashed
bro?
Actually, this guy
No,
got smashed
presumably
by-
not.
let's see his dexterity save.
A lot of
He
5 people
actually
hit me.
Jumps out of the way, pulls up his dagger at you, Maeve, and starts to try and stab you.
We're rude.
Maeve, he gets a 16. Does that hit?
It does.
Yes. Okay, Maeve, you take
Correct.
5 points of damage as he stabs you with a this long twisted blade. Rezik, one you popped up right next to one. He also attacks at you. That is a 19.
Okay, I'll use shield again as a reaction.
Okay, roll another Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Wait, the way if I was on top of him and he moved away, would I get an opportunity attack? The way he moved away from me?
Well, he didn't move out of your range. It's when he moves out of your threat
Oh.
range.
Got it.
That's a 16.
A 16. You take 1 level of exhaustion as you start to feel weary and you start to lose consciousness in this place. But your shield blocks his attack. Kellwise, you are just surrounded. Blades start flying at you from every direction possible.
Bob and weave,
Except from behind you. Except from behind you. Unless Cornelia wants to stab you too. That's totally an option she has.
Did pretty on brand.
That's
Yeah.
114.
Wait,
Stab like
so-
Hellwise today.
16.
Seemed like it'll
16.
get away
So
with it.
so 3 miss and 2 hit.
Okay, okay.
How does Cowboy, Mr. Fisherman, have better armor than me? What?
6.
You got some cool fish armor.
He does have cool fish armor.
Beware the fish armor.
You take 11 points of
I'm
damage as these blades start to come at you, and you manage to dodge and block most of them. But a couple of them get through your defenses and start cutting you up. As that happens, Pup, Kellwise, Dresden, what are you doing?
Well, I'm.
I shout to Pup. I put him in the corner and I grab him too and try and grab together. I think. Try
Not
and
before I
force him
try
into the corner.
to pee my pants and run away.
Oh, are you afeared? Ah, you little bitch.
Pup,
And I say that under my breath.
Pup, you run right next to the other one. Roll me another wisdom saving throw as you let go and you run off to the corner, caged animal.
I was just like,
Pup.
Wisdom?
Yes.
This would be a 21.
Ooh,
21.
okay. And you fear
nice.
subsides from your brain and you manage to catch your wits as you look around, terrified. Dresden, what are you doing?
Can I not do? I can't like use my movement or anything.
No, it's to the end of your turn.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I'm just like watching Pep just like run away like.
And I turn around and go. Oh. My ears just go. Oh crap.
I'm just gonna try and like do-si-do with the dude
Okay.
so that
Roll an,
he's in between, so that he's in the middle of Fitz and myself.
Okay, roll an
I
athletics
love
to try
even
and
the
grapple him.
do term. That's great.
He got a 22.
No.
Oh. Okay.
Well, you have two attempts. You have a second grapple if you want, because you're a second attack.
That's fair. Well, we'll give it a.
That's what I did. I got a second try. Go. You got this.
That's a 25.
Nah,
What?
That's 18.
Sally.
Ah, he's a powerful dude.
Unfortunately,
How
when you
are
try
all
and
of
grab
those
him,
rolls so
it's
high?
almost as if
You're
there's
just going
this
real well.
crackling energy that when you try and grab him, your hand goes numb and it's hard to even hold on to his body. And he takes that hammer, swings it around at you, and tries to attack you. Oof.
Sweet.
Does a 19 hit?
No, it does not.
Okay, that hammer right near you, and the whole platform, that wooden platform on the ground, explodes and everything shakes as the shockwave explodes right by your body. Are you doing anything else?
I was gonna try and just like insert myself in between him and the Empress, like just come around. Like if I can't move him, I'll just move me. You know what I mean? Like I was gonna try and
here, but it would be a grapple check to push him away from that spot. So you can move like.
What is the Empress doing? Because like, am I able to just shove her out of the way? Do you know what I mean? Like, because that I'm not trying to move him. I'm trying to kind of just get in between them.
Yeah, a shove would be an attack. So it would have been an action. I think part of your action. You can get like ready to shove her on your next move.
Yeah, I mean, is she standing? Is she? I'm assuming she was like on the ground. I thought she was on the ground, just stabbed in the back.
Just kind of stabbed in her side.
Okay.
Just screaming and writhing, all just in this chair, just back.
I didn't know she was still in the chair. I thought she had gotten up. I see. Okay, cool. All right.
Was Mark released?
She's standing and she's sitting. Mark is also there, by you, Dresden.
Mark, the chain. The fuck.
He kind of looks up at you like.
If I can, I'll just swat him right over towards the chain.
Okay, are you just gonna like shove him onto the chain?
Yeah, I'm just gonna like eat.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, I'm being like, Din, get food time. Go get it.
It doesn't seem like he understands language or even emotions. But Dresden, when you take him and you just shove him onto that chain, he quickly just grabs it and starts.
Yes.
And he doesn't really have any teeth, so his lip just starts quivering like a wave as he's like.
So Mark,
feel this energy kind of just.
So confused.
The whale. It's a seraphim.
Moving back and forth. This guy.
That guy.
It's a seraphim. How'd you get a seraphim? Okay.
That's what was in the chest.
Oh.
You were there for that.
Starts to chew it. And the chain eventually starts to get sucked into his mouth deeper and deeper and deeper as he just.
He's Lady in the Tramping them.
Burps a little bit. And you see the chain is just gone. At the same time, crazed eyes look up at you. Einbach, released. Something primal and dark starts to fill.
Where's this gonna go?
Room like a thick poison. The
Please
air
eat Einbach,
becomes heavy.
Hey, brother.
The walls themselves start to groan with pain. You all start to feel this pain as he shares all of this despair from hundreds and thousands of years with everyone in the room. Marks himself starts to convulse, his body moving unnaturally. He starts to grab his wrist, these souls wrapping all around him. You can see those souls that he has absorbed. They start to scream out in pain. They come out of his skin, grab his face, and start sucking him inward. He starts to move. His arm snaps backwards as he starts to try and rip his own arm off of his body. These souls, too much for him to handle now that Einbach has been released from his prison, his cage, and his body just starts to move unnaturally, and blood starts billowing out of his mouth as he falls to his knees, his eyes just huge and crazed. His body snaps again, his shoulder pulls out of place, and you see these souls just start to tear him to pieces. Piece by piece, he falls onto the ground. He's now convulsing, and you see these eyes of Einbach. And you hear the screams of the Empress continue on as Einbach looks at you, Dresden. I'll be taking that crown from you right now. And these two giant bat-like wings shoot out of his back, and he starts to hover off the ground, and you feel these wings with every brush of air, the room, this thick aura starts to fill out. And Dresden, you hear in your head the cries of Luthen and the Guardian holding their hands out to you.
Yeah, man. Fucking clasp hands,
Guardian
bring
holds
him
out
in.
his hand. You pull this Guardian down, and instantly this whitish, golden moonlight envelops Dresden. You all see this 10-foot space encompass Dresden, this aura of protection as that miasma, that dark, heavy air is pushed back. Einbach snarls, and those of you near Dresden can feel the relief. Basically, Maeve, anyone who's 10 feet away, Steve, Rezik, you feel almost like you couldn't breathe in this poison, and that relief hits you as this aura encompasses you. But Rezik, you're staring at this being made of pure hatred, pure sadness, pure despair. His fingers like long, dark blades made out of nothingness right in front of you. And kind of just backs off a little bit, unsure of what's going on. That happens. At the same time, Relics, the tiefling, tears in his eyes, looks up to you guys. Seems unaffected by this miasma. Looks straight at you, Cornelia, looking for help. Roll me a persuasion check. He looks at you and it's just your eyes. It's like he's looking to you for hope in this dark hour.
5.
A 5. Well, he rolled a nat 1.
No hope.
You see him look to you, tear-filled eyes. He has this long, iced blade in his hand. He turns it, curves it upward, and stabs the guild member above him.
Oh.
The guild member, this blade shoots through him, ice covering the blade as he saws his blade back out, and that one of these drops down. He steps in next to you, Kelwise, strikes at another guild member, and hits. Not killing, but injuring the guild member near you. And he screams, "For the Empress!"
For the Empress!
Cornelia, Rezik,
Huzzah.
Fitz. What are you guys doing?
For the Empress, and I'm gonna attack the guy that's right next to Kelwise.
Okay.
To the west there. To the left.
All right.
On the
roll
other
an
side of
attack.
the tiefling. Ends up being a 20. Dirty 20.
A 20. That hits. And it's a sneak attack.
Yes, it is. So that means I roll a lot of things. 3. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's been a while.
Meanwhile, Rezik, Fitz, what are you doing?
Ooh.
Fitz.
He asks himself.
Yes. Fitz drops your sword, Dresden. Fear in his eyes, and starts running away, grabbing the cage,
21.
just grabbing with his one hand, trying to shake this Bastille away. 21?
Yes.
21 points of damage. You come around with your curved black blade, stab it into this guy, and as you pull out, just a little bit of his organs and viscera get caught in those hooks, and you cut out, doing as much damage as you did cutting in, and this guy just falls down, can't even figure out what's been done to him, as just so many pieces of his body are bleeding at once internally, and he falls down dead.
Oh my.
Nice.
Weird. This
Or the
guy's
Empress.
weird. Okay. That happens. Marks writhing on the ground.
I did not go yet.
Marks continues to just writhe around on the ground. Resin, what are you doing?
Okay, cool. All right, so I'm just gonna look over to Dresden, stare him in the eyes, and just be like, "Oh, time to shine, buddy." I'm gonna throw a bit of powdered iron in the air, and then do this kind of symbol where I kind of enlarge my bud. And the iron is going to swirl on his head and turn into like this like iron crown. And he's going to get bigger. I'm just going to give him a thumbs up.
And you all see Dresden transform into King Dresden with his crown on top of his head as Dresden grows to be a 15-foot.
Jesus Christ.
Isn't it like 10 feet tall?
The height of this thing is like the ceiling is right there next to him, and that herniac's now looking to be about the right size in his hands. What's up?
And James, I want to give, just like we fought Luthen, I want to give him all of Eva's power for the day. Just everything is going to go to him.
Okay, roll me a Constitution saving throw for that.
Okay. Okay. That is a 16.
16 again. You take another point of exhaustion as
worth it.
Your body is starting to just almost sluggishly move, and you see giant Dresden, and you're not even entirely sure if it's just your eyes playing tricks at you at this point because you're feeling real drowsy. Kind of good in a way. The fear nowhere to be seen, man. You're doing just fine. All right. Meanwhile, this guy failed a fear check and goes running away. Mark's writhing on the ground still, starts coughing blood. His body now twisted in an angle, and you see his back starting to bend more and more. And if it wasn't for his armor, you're pretty sure his back would just be bent up. And you see hundreds of spirits that he absorbed just grabbing his body, pulling him all different ways. 100 people pulling him, almost being quartered alive from the inside. As you see his body just writhing.
It's scene in Ghost where they just drag the guy. That's the scariest scene in Ghost.
Einbach really carefully reaches out to you. Rezik touches you.
Yep.
On your shoulder. With just his fingertip, it touches you.
If this is an attack, I want to cast Shield as a reaction.
Okay. You cast Shield as a reaction. That's the window. Oh my gosh. How do I do this? I don't know how to use the internet anymore. It's actually not an attack. Roll a Constitution saving throw.
We're all frozen on the screen, by the way, on the stream.
Oh.
Yeah, we froze, didn't we?
Oh, my bad.
Everyone but Jaymes.
My bad.
And we all look ridiculous.
There we go. We're back. I'm sorry. Thank you for letting me know.
That's kind of cute. Little smile.
That's actually a dirty 20.
Hey!
A dirty 20. You take half damage as you start to feel necrotic energy rotting you from the inside out.
Ew.
And can I still use shield? Because we had a whole thing where you can like use shield to damper the damage. Is that something we can still do?
You can get like D4 damage off the attack if you'd like.
I will do that because I'm gonna die.
Okay, but you have to roll another Constitution saving throw.
Ooh, that's 4. Great. Okay. Okay. That is a 19.
Hey!
You don't take any. Exhaustion. Can't math right now. Take half of that.
That's not a good sign.
You take
You
31
do, though.
points of necrotic damage.
That's half of it? 31?
At half. as your body
Tight. I'm
starts
down.
to turn black, and you start to see black veins and tendrils start to seep into Rezik's body until it covers him, and his eyes open, falls to the ground, almost lifeless.
Yeah.
At this point,
A 62 point damage attack would kill any 5th level player. So yeah, I'm down.
meanwhile, Marks looks to you, Dresden. Eyes filled with agony, pain, and rage. At this meanwhile, Steve, Maeve, you see Rezik fall to the ground.
When is it my turn?
Oh, that's right.
It
By
was
the
Pup,
way.
Kellwise, and
You got
Dresden,
skipped
so-
because you
Yeah.
had to do a wisdom
Due to
save and
fear?
lost your turn, like I did.
Yeah.
We didn't get
Oh,
to
I
Yeah,
thought
go.
we
it
had cycled
felt
back
felt
to
like
that.
I went again, but I didn't go again. I
We
just got
haven't
made
cycled
big.
back around.
Oh, he got made big, and he had his thing. Yeah,
Got
you're up right after this, Pup. Steven, Maeve, and then you.
As flavor, as I go down and my skin turns black and everything, I'm just gonna look towards Dresden, who I just cast a spell at and made it big, and I gave him Eva, and I'm just gonna say, "Take care of her."
Eva uses up all of her energy, and the spell that he cast on you to make you large maintains. As you guys see Eva pop up, she's holding her hands at you, Dresden. Her hands just maintaining your large size as she pops out.
Hold
she's
on.
She's looking down at Rezik. Help him! Help him, guys! Please help him! Maeve, Steve, what are you doing?
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
shit.
Screw you, Bobby.
Well, oh my god.
Well, I'm gonna get over my shock of the giant Dresden because this is new for me.
Yeah, maybe you go first. You go first.
To change our colors.
Uh,
Red is death.
So now I'm box the threat. Oh my god.
Dresden, can you get out of our way, please? We're trying
Oh
Look
my
at this
God.
fat head! Get your
I was like, you are
Yeah.
not showing enough teeth for the big cam.
It's Giant Cullen! It's Giant Cullen!
Maeve starts
Oh,
attacking
good.
Cullen.
I'm like, ah!
Reed, what are you doing?
Okay.
Steve, Maeve, you guys are both acting at the same time.
I'm
Maybe you first.
I'm going to run. Does the dagger in her look like if you touched it, like if I touched it, things would start going into me, or does it look docile?
That's what happened with Marks. But he also wasn't tugging it out, so you may be able to pull it out if that's what you want.
I would like to try and pull the dagger out of her.
You do that.
So
I'll help
you
Rezik.
rush over. You grab this dagger. Mark's still just kind of convulsing. His body, it's like he's dead and limp.
Yeah, I don't care
But you
about
can
him
see
anymore.
his eyes are still wide open, as if filled with terror, as his body is still being pulled in 1,000 directions at once.
You made your bed, you lie in it.
grab this dagger, and this energy fills you. Thousands of souls try and enter you at once as you try and immediately tug this fanged dagger made of some kind of twisted crystal out. Roll a strength save.
Thank God you aren't trust right now. You become a new god.
Like I just imagine,
pure-
like trust is Kirby. Just,
I am your god now.
God.
Little, like,
Stab trust with the dagger.
Oh yeah.
I was literally
it's
thinking that.
23.
a 23.
Oh
You
yeah.
guys hear this crack. As this sound, it almost sounds like lightning breaking as something snaps. The dagger itself shatters in half as this dagger is pulled out, and you see the Empress fall to the floor.
Yes,
Barely breathing, if breathing at all.
I can't do anything else, right?
No. That was your action. Unless you have a
That was
bonus
my
action you want to use. Steve, you just saw this being tap Rezik, and he dropped to the floor, skin starting to turn black, his body starting to writhe. Eva pops out, maintains his spell, but starts to scream in agony as you see Rezik's body just dying in front of you.
Rezek's on the other side of the thing, isn't he?
Avi.
He's about what?
Oh no, he's right there. I'm sorry.
He's like 10 feet away from me.
You. He's right there.
Oh, he's 5 feet away from me. I'm gonna.
Cinematic.
Oh god. I'm gonna move over to him. Let me check something real quick.
You had one job. You had one job. Was to be ready on your turn.
Well, I was okay. I was thinking about something. Is it? Can I administer healing potion as a bonus action?
As an action, you can give someone else a healing potion. As a bonus action, you can use a healing potion. Those are the homebrew rules that I
Then,
haven't talked to you guys about,
well, I
but
can't.
just now told you.
I can't drag him and do that. So I'll just give it to him.
Okay, so you give him a healing potion.
Yep.
Rezek, you feel something sweet, almost like a cherry cordial, slip down your throat, warm,
Ew.
keeping your body bright. You see Eva, just a sigh of relief, as tears streaming down her face as she's watching your body, that blackness starting to fade from your skin.
Deep breaths, friend. Deep breaths.
And you look up above you, and these two
Steve?
giant bat-like wings are wrapped up high. This being looking straight at you, Steve.
Hi.
He points his hand, opens it up, and you see a flurry of small missiles fly out black and smash into your body.
Guess we should have kept that chain.
Ooh.
I guess I can't deflect a magic missile, can I?
No.
Can't catch one of them.
And you take
Is my
17 points. Of
Wait.
force damage.
Those automatically hit?
They automatically hit.
Because I have an 18 AC now with the woohoo shield, so just want to make sure.
Unfortunately, it doesn't. It automatically.
Damn you, woohoo shield! Why do I even have you?
And
You said
the woohoo
17?
Shield, the woohoo shield doesn't seem motivated enough to protect you.
I scream woohoo at the top of my lungs. While also taking 17
what is
points
that?
of damage.
What does that sound like?
Oh, what?
Dude, I'm gonna blow out my mic. You don't want me to do that.
I
Back
it.
up,
go.
go in the corner, get in the corner of your room and scream it. Back up. There we go. Oh, he cut out.
He did. He blew it up. Even from across the room. Across my room.
Still blew
Don't
it out.
ever doubt my motivation.
You know what? That shield takes one of those magic missiles and it lowers your
God.
damage.
Thank you.
Yeah! As it feels so motivated to protect you.
Oh my god.
What's the damage now?
What was
less,
19, so
minus
now it's
19.
17?
17 damage.
No. It was 17
It was
before.
17 before.
Oh, it was
So
17 before.
15 damage.
Oh, thank you guys trying to
trying to kill
cheat me
you.
out of
Cullen's trying
damage.
to kill
Come
you.
on
That
now.
was 19. I'm trying to help.
Oh my
Stop
god.
trying to help.
As that happens,
go.
two attacks come at you, Kelwise. Both of which miss. One attack goes to the tiefling and it hits, hitting the tiefling for 5 damage. The tiefling starts to bleed again from another spot, already injured quite badly from Kelwise's attack as he falls to a knee, still fighting for his life. Not down, well, not out, but down to one knee. Pup, Kelwise, Dresden. It's your go.
Am I still frightened after being hit by so many swords? The last round, not this round. This round.
Were
I
you
missed.
frightened? Oh,
I
thought you
was.
passed. Oh,
No,
well, did you roll a wisdom save last round?
no, you skipped me.
Oh, well, you can. Oh, we skipped you already. Well,
Yeah.
roll 3 wisdom saves. If any of those pass, you're back.
Jeez.
Somebody speak up. Everything's happening so fast. You got skipped.
Oh my gosh.
I got skipped too.
Does a 14 pass?
A 14 on the 14 does pass.
Okay, great.
So you're back up. So, Pup, Kellwise, Dresden, what are you guys doing?
Great.
I don't know what they're doing. Is all of everything on me larger?
Everything but your herniacs we had talked about.
Right.
Everything.
Everything.
Just from the floor. Just from the floor over there, Rezik just turns and goes, everything.
Barely alive.
That's right. I got you.
The blood coming out.
Yeah, it's like.
All right.
Like,
Very
stop.
nice.
The
All right.
anime blood.
Tell me if this is feasible, plausible, actually doable, but I'm going to reach into my belt and pull out my my wand of ejaculation. Is it huge?
This keeps getting.
Is it huge?
Wand is a magic item.
Yeah.
Let me roll.
Some
We're
would say
not
it's
using
magical.
magic.
Yeah.
It is
I'm
huge.
using magic.
Not normally the case, but it's massive.
Oh, because magic doesn't enlarge? Oh. but it
I'm just
did.
going to hold it like a Schwartz and just look at Einbach and just I don't know what was the magic word?
All over his face.
It's
Do you have the one that
Klaatu Verata Nictu.
silver spindle?
No, not that one. It was the other one. No, it's not that
Silver
one.
spindle, silk
It's not
stone.
that
The
one.
one.
It's a different one.
Is
I
it
have-
the broomstick?
Oh,
Mine
Has
was
the wand of web. There was
the
also
wand of
the
ejaculation.
wand of strange web, but it was the silk
He's
web,
got
and
the
then there was
regular.
the other. There was the other one that the gnomes had.
I
That you
don't-
took one.
I don't know what you say for that.
Anyway, I'm just gonna say go magic web or whatever, and just ring one out
Okay.
on him.
And the web spell comes shooting out. Oh my gosh! Alright.
you guys,
Wrong browser.
we're a sex cult. Okay, we're at this point. We're a sex cult.
Not a sex
Just
cult.
stop.
Not a sex cult.
Oh, hashtag not a sex
Not
cult.
a sex cult.
No hoo-ha.
No.
Hoo-ha!
Ah.
A 20
Don't
foot
make a hoo-ha.
cube from that point. So, a 20-foot cube lands on him and everything around him. 20 feet would be. 20-foot cube would be
It's
4
fucking a
squares.
quarter of the room.
It's
That whole corner of the
20.
room.
it's this big and it smacks against the wall, so we'll say some of it's like
Well,
there.
Do you
Can
mind?
you aim it? You can aim it, right? Like you can.
Oh
It
yeah, I
hits the
aimed it all
wall,
right.
Everything
One
up
more.
over there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Get
just
that
so
other
big.
side- There we
Area
go.
of
I mean,
Just get a little on my shoulder.
technically there. If it's in the room, just explodes out. Everyone in here. Everyone in this circle, roll a.
Wait, are you? Oh, come
That's
on.
a square.
Roll a.
That's a 4-pointed circle, actually.
4-cornered circle.
yeah.
Starts its turn in the web or enters during its turn. Okay, so it's on their turn. You roll a dexterity saving throw. Okay.
On your turn. Oh.
Everyone just gets plastered with sticky, white, gooey webbing. Massive, sticky.
What?
This
Take that, Peter Parker.
load of webbing goes flying in. Anyone? Who else is there? Kellwise and Pup. Pup,
Yeah.
your turn. Roll a dexterity saving throw.
Right. Dresden. Dex save.
Yeah.
I think you could probably aim it a little better than
Plus
that.
7
That's like.
is 24.
Okay, so Pup, you managed
You're
to
trying.
climb up just above maybe the white fluid. It's still
Pups
all
used
over
to
the
honey
ground.
and sticky things. Puppy knows how to avoid sticky.
Yeah, so you're kind of on the wall.
Yeah, they're already covered in honey, so kind of just like.
And yeah, unfortunately, Rezik, you would have disadvantage on your turn. Just remind me, because
Of course I would. Yes, that's yeah.
you're prone, and this just kind of went whoom, right on top of you. What are you doing, Pup?
What am I gonna do? Is what's his face stuck? No.
Seemingly,
After Dresden did that,
he hasn't
I
had his turn yet, so we don't
right.
know yet.
Tight.
I'm gonna go over and bop him.
You're
the head.
So are you gonna like jump
Bop.
off the wall and try and bop him? Because the
Can I
whole
not
floor is
move?
now covered in that webbing.
Not
Is the whole floor difficult terrain?
The whole floor is not only difficult terrain, but every time you try and move, you have to roll another.
Oh my gosh.
You have to roll another
World's
dexterity.
greatest game of the floor is lava right now.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to like
Something.
leap off of this and then smack into him, you could
Yeah, I'm gonna
definitely
do
do that. Okay, so you leap off. Roll me an athletics check as you leap off of the basically a chain link fence
From the top rope.
from the top ropes.
Athletic?
Yeah.
18. 14.
18. Pup manages to jump off, swings around with this giant staff. Roll some attacks.
Great.
Come on,
First
Pup.
attack is an 18 plus 6. 24 to hit.
24 hits. Roll damage.
Yeah.
Then, I forgot. Damage on that is going to be a 5, but I'm going to use my lightning.
Okay.
So I'm going to
I like
add
that.
a D4.
I like that a lot.
Ow.
So plus 4.
9 damage.
What is-
So 9 damage. Okay. You deal 9 damage as you smack him with this thing, and lightning kind of shoots out of the staff.
Cool.
Nice.
My second attack, I'm gonna do the same thing.
Okay. Roll an attack.
An 18 again. Wow, this dice. Ooh,
All
so that's gonna be
right.
a 24. That is. Oh my god, another 5, and then I'm gonna use lightning again.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Let's go.
5 plus 3 is an 8, and then I'm gonna do Flurry of Blows on that.
Nice.
So 8 damage. Those 2 attacks. For that second attack. Okay. Flurry of
So
blows.
17 so far.
No, it was 9 damage.
Sorry, 17
Yeah.
total
Yeah.
with the 2 attacks.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. And so for my first Flurry of Blows, that is a 9.
A 9 doesn't hit.
Yeah.
Ah.
You go to punch, and your foot sticks just a little bit to the ground, and you just
I
barely
get
go wide. Yeah.
distracted.
Yeah, you get distracted by your attack.
Oh, okay. That is a 25 to hit.
That hits.
Sick. And then it is another 7 damage.
Yeah.
7 damage. So 24 total damage. You guys see Pup fly off that chain link fence, and just
24.
like
Monks, man.
Yeah.
a hurricane, just starts smacking and blasting as lightning comes flying off their staff.
Or a
and
hurricane.
Oh.
excellent.
Very good.
We don't use inspiration, but you would have gotten inspiration right there.
I mistrust.
Cowboys.
And can I?
Anything else, Pup?
Yeah, can I just try to get away from him?
You can try and move away.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
Okay, so you move away, and he pulls up one of those clawed hands and swipes at you.
Ugh. Burn it.
Does a 14 hit? All right. Well, then he
Yes.
misses with his
Oh, thank
attack of
God.
opportunity.
Hey!
And you move away. Difficult terrain.
What?
And these two are still trying to these two are just trying to get out. Still frightened. Can you just write hi chat?
Probably even more so now,
Who's
honestly.
writing this stuff? Who's black? Who's writing stuff?
been there
on
a
my
while.
comment?
It's been there. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Okay, Pup, Cowwise, what are you doing?
Been a while. Sorry.
Okay, so I gotta go again. So for this time,
Yes, you get to go again.
Oh,
Pup
you're
trips.
muted, Cowwise.
Oh, trip.
You're muted. You muted, Killwise.
Thank you. I turn to the tiefling and apologize briefly before stabbing the person who is to the north of the tiefling.
What does a brief
Nice.
apology sound like?
Sorry. Yeah, and then stabbing. Yeah, we'll talk it out later.
It's like a. Sorry.
You were bad, now you're good.
Does a 12 hit?
A 12 does not hit. Wait. Nope. No, it does not hit. Sorry.
Okay.
Oops.
With the first one, but while I'm thinking about it, I move the oh gosh, what did I put on him? Whatever lets me hit people. Yeah, the Hunter's Mark. I moved the Hunter's Mark from the Tiefling also to the guy the north of the Tiefling. And swing again. That's 19 to hit.
19 hits.
Has he taken damage already? That particular
This
guy?
one has not taken any damage.
Okay, cool. Then that's a 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage. Back.
Very nice.
Okay. You deal 11 points of damage to this guy. Anything else?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
The Tiefling, still slashing down on one knee, takes 2 attacks at this one in front of him. The first one hits, and the second one hits. Wow. Doing much better than he did before. Oof. And he just obliterates this guy in front of you. And you see shards of ice kind of move over these 2 huge slashes as the guild member just falls down dead.
Nice.
Cornelia, Rezik, and let's see if Fitz. I didn't roll this last time. Ooh, Fitz regains his composure.
Nice. So yeah, I'm on the ground, covered in a bunch of white goo. Should I roll for whatever?
Jumps over here, and he has to roll. See, he fails. So Fitz takes 2 steps into that sticky area to try and swipe at him, and then his feet just kind of, and he just gets stuck and can't continue. Rezik, roll a disadvantage dexterity saving throw.
Oh, disadvantage. Oh, that's both the okay. So what was it? Dexterity?
Yes.
19.
A 19.
Yeah, I got it.
So you managed to just pull a piece of the carpet that you're on. You just kind of pull it up. It hits the carpet. You pull it away just in time. You're able to move this round if you stay in the area that stuff is kind of creeping in on you.
Okay. By the way, Steve, how much HP did I get back when you healed me?
That would be checking.
But in the meantime, basically what I do it.
He can text you.
Yeah, I'll text it to you. Yeah, just go ahead.
But yeah, in the meantime, so yeah, what I'm gonna do is, I'll just I wake up, I see Steve above me, I'm like, Steve? And then I look over and Dresden shoots this big wad at me, and I use the carpet to block it, and I put it down, I'm like, oh, God. And I see the Empress how is the Empress doing?
She seems to be passed out on the floor. She's
Empress, wake up, your children need you. And I point to Tress, who's covered in goo, and I point to the other guy goo up there. Yeah. Just a light goo.
Basically naked.
She kind of asked for it literally 3 sessions ago.
Yeah. Well,
like 3 sessions ago. She
kind of asked for it.
Anyway,
you get 10 points back.
Yikes,
ignoring the victim blaming. I'm going to go ahead and...
Dresden takes psychic damage.
MinusOneCHarisma canceled.
Is it from what she's doing?
It's been good knowing you guys.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, so...
Dresden checks the tape.
Marshmallow Man destruction, yeah.
That's exactly what I'm reminded. I'm imagining the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man kind of scene around me, and I see Pups just hitting and firing out the electricity. So I'm gonna be like, all right, fuck this. And I'm just gonna put my hands up and I'm gonna fire off. Oh wait, I can't do Witch Bolt because that's a concentration spell. Never mind. That would have been a cool Don't Cross the Streams moment, but never mind. I'm gonna go ahead and do Magic Missile instead at 3rd level, and just fire off. I think it's 3 plus 2 darts.
Roll,
so 5 darts.
Roll a Constitution saving throw. As this spell
you have 10 points back, by the way, Rezik. So
oh, great, thank you.
10 HP.
Wow, 10 points. That's great.
Yeah. Rezik's gonna sleep for days after this.
Okay, so
well, he's rolling this damage.
I'm gonna roll into action. I'm gonna go over next to Kelwise and
Here?
try to stab the guy right in front of him.
Okay. You flip over, and you stab at him. Roll an attack.
Yeah. Yay! Ha 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 ha.
Ha ha ha.
25.
Oh, that hits. That super hits.
Ha ha ha. Oops. Oh shit.
Rezik, what was your Constitution saving throw, and then what was your damage?
I got an 18, and then my damage is 17 force damage.
17 force damage. Okay.
6, 7, 8. It ends up being 11.
And 11 points of damage, which is enough. You stab this guy under his arm, like right in his armpit, into whatever that fleshy part of his body, and just comes down dead right next to you. Meanwhile, Fitz is stuck. This being looks at you, all Einbach, this dark angel floating above you. He holds both of his hands up, and the entire room behind the gate, the floor, turns black as these tendrils shoot up into the air. Okay, these black tendrils pop up into the air. I was like, am I reading this right?
I'm on a body. There was a body there. I'm on a body.
Well, you're not affected by it. It's only people below the negated area.
Sorry, guys.
The whole area becomes difficult terrain as these arms start to lash out. Some of them like whips smacking all around. Some of them like arms grabbing, trying to restrain you. All right, everyone, make a dexterity saving throw. That's
Great.
Maeve, Dresden, you get advantage. Rezik, are you still laying on the ground?
Let's say I stood up because I did have movement still, so I can do that.
Okay. Rezik.
Well, you kind of skipped what I was gonna explain, like my whole thing that I was doing, and you kind of went on. So I stood up as well.
Okay, you stand up. Steve and Pup, all of you guys roll dexterity saving throws.
14.
14.
Dexterity saving. 19.
A 19, a 21, 14, and what'd you get, Steve?
I got a 21.
21. So, the only one restrained is Dresden
Can't
Wait,
catch
by
these.
these tentacles as they
Need-
reach up. Oh, and
Can't catch them.
yeah, Maeve, sorry. And Fitz is also restrained.
So I just stayed quiet because I got a 6.
A 6. You are also restrained. Your movement is 0. You're caught up. These giant tendrils come and have grabbed you. And a smile streaks onto his face as you start to see glowing start to appear from his hands. Nothing erupts from it yet, but something is brewing. Something dark and evil. Steve, Maeve, what are you guys doing?
All right. I'll go first. I'm gonna try to jump to get behind Dresden.
Okay.
First of all, for my movement.
Roll a acrobatics check as you try and weave your way through this room as these tendrils. You're not only on a sticky floor made of webbing, but there's also all these black tendrils. Every step you take, jumping up to try and grab you.
I'm too swift. 22.
A 22. You're trying to get behind Dresden here?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Behind his head. So
Behind
yeah,
him.
there you go. Yeah.
Okay, so you slip back there.
Yeah. And first of all, I want to inspect this gate. Does it look like it can be broken by any conventional means? What does it look
A
like?
solid weaved, woven together gate. It just
What if you
looks
kill
like
the guy that
like this
cast it?
Gate was it looks like a gate that has been here for a while. It just feels like a real gate has just appeared and is now solidly in place there, made of iron weave.
Is it literally just like a school fence, more or less?
It's thicker. The weave is thicker iron bars, but similar to like a chain link fence, but much more sturdy, I would say.
Is what's his name in the corner? Is he still alive?
Hard to tell. He's just armor. Now his whole body looks like jelly in this armor as it's still just being pulled in all these different directions, writhing on the ground. His neck just kind of flopping around. None of his joints working as a human being's joints would work.
So I couldn't roll like a perception check on it and just make sure.
I mean, he's kind of far in the corner right now, and Dresden's in between you. It would be very, very hard to tell if you wanted to like spend your action to like.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
You could.
But I'm gonna say screw it. Can I try to shoot him from under Dresden's legs because he's so freaking large now?
He would get a slight cover bonus because Rezik and Fitz are standing in front of him. He would get a slight cover bonus, but you can absolutely shoot him.
Cool. So I'm gonna violent shot. No, Deadeye shot. I'm gonna Deadeye shot. That way I get advantage on the attack roll.
Okay. Roll an attack with advantage.
Okay. That's plus proficiency. One moment.
What can I can't do any. I can't.
You're
move,
restrained.
But...
So you're restrained. Your movement is 0, but you still have your actions. What'd you get?
So could I pour a health potion on the Empress or no?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
She does that. I got a 23.
23 hits.
Yeah. Okay. Roll damage.
Good thinking.
That's 8.
8 damage. Okay.
Yeah.
You do 8 damage as this bullet goes whizzing by Fitz's head and then smashes into this being seemingly floating. It hits his body and it doesn't even seem like he takes notice whether it's wounded him or not. It just doesn't even seem like he's felt it as it smashes into him. Anything else? Maeve, you're just pouring that down her throat?
Yes. I got 3 + 2 for 5.
5? Okay, you pour that into her throat, and it's hard to tell that potion sitting just in the side of her cheek as you try and pour it down her throat. It's working, maybe, but it doesn't seem like it's affecting her in the same way that it's affected others. Steve, what's up?
As a bonus action, I'd like to second wind. So that's 1d10 + 3 HP. So I need it. That's 10 points.
Yeah, you pour it through, and you see her body. She starts to breathe. A rasp escapes her mouth. It's helping, but you almost see this glow around her, flickering. Now that you're close to her, this glow is starting to flicker out. That was once around her, that allure, that presence that she had, almost as if a physical thing in the room, flickering out, especially under the pressure of Einbach. At that time, this guild member, right here, looks at you both. Cornelia, Kelwise, has his cudgel, drops it, throws his hands up. Hey, slowly just kind of backs
Good
up.
plan.
Starts
Good plan.
to take off. And just bolts towards the door.
Break the chain.
Yeah, he heads off. Just kind of like, eh?
Or fence, rather.
That happens. Pup, Kelwise, Dresden. You guys see Einbach lift his hands, those 2 giant balls of energy, smashes them together, holds his hands out, Dresden points it straight at you, and what looks like black flame erupts from his hands. Make a dexterity saving throw. With disadvantage since you're restrained, unfortunately.
A dex save?
Yeah.
17 with disadvantage.
Ooh, 17 with disadvantage. You take half.
When you got
damage.
it, you got it.
So half of that damage would be 21 points of fire damage. As this stream of black flame seems to engulf Dresden, and it's weird because you don't even feel or smell burning ash or crisp, but when you see Dresden's body, it's almost as if pieces of his very flesh are rotting away like ash and floating into the air.
Say that number one more time. 20.
21?
Was it 21 or 27? 21?
21.
Okay.
Pup, Kelwise Dresden, it's your turn.
Great. Super dupe.
Well, if you don't mind, I'll move south toward the gate.
Okay.
Now that there's a flying creature and they're not right up on me, I'm gonna shoot someone. So let's do some shots.
Okay.
Oh,
you shoot.
sorry.
Shot.
Hunter's mark.
Hunter's mark. Thank you. Move my hunter's mark over to what's his face? And
Einbach?
shoot some guns. Yep. 15.
A 15. Unfortunately, you're trying to shoot around Rezik, and you're taking into account the fact that you really don't want to shoot your friend. You shoot wide.
Okay. I'll shoot again.
Okay, you refocus, you re-aim. Rezik doesn't need all of his hair. You try and aim a little closer.
Yeah, but it's an 11, so.
An 11. Again, shoots wide. Pup, what are you doing?
I mean, shoot, what else can I do? I'm gonna keep trying to beat up. I can.
At the beginning of your turn, roll a dexterity saving throw, as these tentacles come up and start trying to attack you.
12.
A 12. It's not enough, as these tentacles come up and start to bash you, and you take 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh.
Anyone else taking their
Cool.
turn? Oh, Maeve, you did the potion, right? Roll a dexterity saving throw. Pup, what are you doing?
I'm just keep beating the back.
Okay, are you gonna move? Roll a dexterity saving throw, because you're in. The tendrils are still trying to grab you, and you're in the sticky.
1d4
sticky area. 24. So you were able to move.
Yeah, I rolled what it matters when it counts, you know.
Maeve, what'd you get? Your dex saving throw.
You're muted.
Did we roll? Did I re-roll again? Or
Just roll. What do you roll for? Roll a dex saving throw. For your turn.
Again?
I missed your turn. Did you roll one?
oh
yes,
no, I
again,
just rolled
on your turn.
the group one.
Yeah, no.
I didn't roll again
single
on my
one.
turn. No. Ooh, it's a nat one.
A nat 1. Maeve, you take 8 points of bludgeoning damage from these tendrils as they start smacking you.
Ooh.
Senpai.
Pup, your turn. Roll your attacks.
Attack number 1 is a. I think it's a 16. It's 16.
16 hits.
Bap. That's going to be 8 damage, and I will be using some lightning. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Nice.
So that is an 8 plus 3, 11 damage.
11 points of damage. All right.
And then, out of curiosity, am I allowed to do a Flurry of Blows on every attack? So I can technically do 2 Flurry of Blows per round?
No, you can only do a Flurry of Blows once, because I think Flurry of Blows is your bonus action.
I think you're right. After you take the attack action on your turn, you can spend. Oh, yeah. No, you're right. So my second attack is going to be a 15.
That hits.
Nice.
And then that's going to be 6 damage, and zap 6 plus.
And you guys just see this
2
tornado of
is 8.
lightning come out of Pup. Violent.
And then a
energies.
flurry of blows.
And then 2 more attacks.
And that is a 19.
19 hits.
And that is a 7.
7.
And then last one is a 22.
That hits as well.
Nice.
And 8.
8 points of damage. You guys are just wailing on this dude. He doesn't
Yeah.
seem to be acknowledging it. Big chunks of his body. Oh my God, who's writing this stuff?
You make me feel uncomfortable!
Just smacking away. Dresden, what are you doing?
I want to dip out again, if possible.
You want to dip out? Okay, so you
Yeah, I know
dip
he
out.
can take an opportunity of attack, but I'm
That
scared.
claw's
Strikes
a
back
big
at you.
attack, though. You better be careful.
I
The
know.
claw strikes you in the back
It got me
as
earlier.
you try and run away.
I like Desi.
You take 16 points of damage as this claw rakes your
Miss
back,
me?
and it doesn't
Are you sure?
cut you. It just disintegrates you.
16, you said?
Strikes. 16 points of force damage. Dresden.
I'm restrained. I can't move? Can I move?
You
I don't know what's
can't
exactly going on with
move,
me.
But you have your action. You just can't move your
Okay,
legs.
great. That's fine. I don't need him. I just take the herniax overhead and I just chuck it as hard as I can right at him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roll an attack.
Passing the judge, baby.
Oh, this fucking thing. I hate it so much. 11.
An
Oh,
11
come on.
misses.
Come on.
But you have your bonus action if you want to try again.
Yeah, second
Well,
attack.
do I get a second attack, right?
Yeah.
Well, can I use my bonus action to bring it back to my hands?
Yes. Yes, that's okay.
And
That's what it's
fucking just check it again.
So you guys see this herniax fly by Einbach. Boom! Smashes into the wall. Splinters of stone and wood go flying everywhere. Tentacles going
Damn
crazy.
it.
He then calls it back to his hands, throws it again.
Come on, don't fuck me. Ow! 23.
23 hits.
Come on. Come on, Dresden. Come on,
Come
Dresden.
Okay, please.
You got this, bud.
That is 21 points of damage.
Oh.
What's it look like when someone gets hit by the herniax? At the size you are.
So it fucking, as soon as it's like out of my hands, it's so long, it's almost already in his face. And it basically just goes, hits him square in the face, and then just keeps going, and then pins into the wall behind him. Just ripping as much of him apart as is possible, because it's also coming down too. So it's like rotating like through.
Come on.
The air lifts. The black miasma disappears. That sticky liquid on the ground stays. Einbach,
Go.
his body splits in two, eyes wide, as his corpse falls to the ground. You guys see his eyes still moving around, looking worried.
Get him.
Einbach,
Get him, Dresden.
his body starts to shrink, smaller and smaller, till he's no bigger than a child, still cut in half. And you see his body curl into like a fetal position on the ground as he just starts to cry and weep. And to Dresden, he reaches a hand out to you. Help me. Please take this pain away. Take it. Take it all.
I reach my hand out to him.
You touch his hand and he gives into you completely. You feel this aspect of Elazar's life fill you, flood into the crown as this onyx, dark onyx, starts to light up with this blackish glow. And you feel Luthen and the Guardian. Each of them puts a hand on his shoulder. And you see his face look up. And maybe for the first time in 100 years, you feel he's just this release. Echoes from him, the tears start to dry up. His shoulders slump, not from pain or weight, but from relief. As all these memories start to flood into your life, 1,000 lifetimes, 1,000 loves, to watch them all die. They all fade. You get the sense Elazar was a very passionate man, and he loved deeply from the bottom of his heart, and every single time he had to watch somebody he loved come into his life and go, it just took a piece of him with it as it went. And the longer time went, the less pieces of him he had to give. An Einbach, the selfless, decided to take all that heartbreak and all that pressure and all that pain onto himself. And you're able to just take that and let it go. This unfathomable weight as he sucks into your body and you absorb him, and there's a warmth there. He's extremely cold, but there's a warmth and camaraderie amongst the other aspects of Elazar that are banded together. And at the same time, all of you outside, you hear a gasp. The Empress, weak, her body fading, her glow, this majesty that she controlled starts to fade. And she looks up at all of you. So sorry. I'm so sorry about all of this. And she looks to Trust on the ground. She was a dear friend. My daughter.
Yes.
I let her down. I let all of them down. My dear children. Everyone. And she reaches out and very pained hand starts to peel back layer by layer of these vines. As she unwraps Trust one by one and starts to brush her hair back behind her and puts her hand on her cheek. And she looks up at all of you, loss in her eyes. She looks down as if there's nothing she can do. She looks to you, Maeve, Rezik, then to Pup. Tears forming, Dresden. She looks to you and shakes her head. Kelwise, Cornelia, and Steve. Just loss. Despair. This hopelessness washes over, and again that glow starts to dampen and dampen and dampen. And Fitz walks up. He puts his hand on her shoulder. Pup, he looks to you. A smile. Opens his mouth but can't form the words. Smiles to you, and he nods to her, and she takes Fitz's hand, and slowly you see him drift away as she breathes Fitz into trust. And Trust, you open your eyes from a long, long sleep. And you look around at your friends around you, and this woman who looks so familiar from long, long ago. She rubs your cheek, tears dripping from her eyes, and she looks up to Relix, who is holding the cage, knuckles white, shaking. She smiles one last time as she slowly slumps over and her glow dissolves out. And that's where we'll pick up next week.
What?
Thank you, everyone.
I'm not okay. For real. What?
Wow.
That beautiful bastard.
God damn it, Fitz.
Fucking Fitz.
Thank you, everybody.
Why did he leave us?
We had a. This is a fun
nice.
fun, big episode. I think for all of us. Appreciate you guys hanging out. I know it's probably late where most of you are.
You're welcome.
It's late where some of us
chat.
are. Thank you so much. We love playing, and we love having you with us while we're playing. We'll be doing a rerun on Wednesday. It's 9 a.m. if you guys want to watch it again, or just hang out and chat with us. We jump in and out. On Friday, we'll be doing DM Office Hours, 6 p.m. Pacific time, where we just chat about D&D. Maybe we'll talk more in depth about Resurrection and how much Cullen hates it. But we all love it right now.
She was never fully dead. She was mostly dead. All right.
Not
There's a difference. There's
love.
a difference between
True love.
mostly dead and all dead.
All dead.
Oh, look who knows so much.
And if you want to find out what happens next, we'll be back next Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific with more of our Chronicles and Aventide. But until then, everybody, please have a wonderful night. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. And we'll see you next week on MinusOneCHarisma. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye now.
Take care of each
Bye-bye.
other.